Test one. Hopefully this works. I think we're here.
Yes.
Sent out a new link.
Yep, we are. We are.
Cool.
Hear us? I hear us fine. I'm gonna listen.
All right. As long as we're coming through as clean as possible.
Yeah, we're coming through clean.
Good. All right. Welcome to the slightly delayed intermission heavy live stream that just had a ton of technical glitches at the last second because YouTube didn't want to actually make
blame YouTube.
I'm gonna blame YouTube. They're the ones that just made this a nightmare. So yeah, for those watching that may not be subscribed, the chat is set to subscriber mode. So all you got to do is hit the subscribe button, then you can comment. You know, helps with the channel because we're getting close to 13,000 subscribers. So if you want to comment, hit the subscribe button. It'll work instantly, and everything should be fine.
Come join in the discussion.
Join in the discussion. I see we got 2 people so far. Don Diavolo says hello.
And LPH.
Welcome. And hey, LPH, how's it going? Glad that we're doing good. Let me know if either of us are coming in too loud over the other, because I will be tweaking things as we go, because that's what I do.
Because OBS the same settings.
Exactly. It pretty much just resets every time I try to do anything. So
Psychos is here. Like all the visuals. Thank you very much. I made them myself.
Everything is pretty because Ryan made the pretty graphics. And I keep trying to open a new tab, but then I realize I'm screen sharing, so I should not do that.
This is the advantage of having 2 monitors like my end. It's like I can just push one to the other end.
I'm a filthy Mac user. I can't have 2 monitors. They won't let me.
See, Don DeValo haven't played Sonic, but my look good. Oh, we have Charles.
Awesome.
Hi, Charles Clark says hi. Hello, how are you?
Well, I'm doing okay now that the stream's running. For a moment, I was like a little panicked.
Also, just warning for both anybody watching the stream and virtual stream. Spoilers, we go, oh Lord, just for all these games, the movies. So I feel like we can't discuss any of that for spoilers. So if you have not seen Sonic 2 or interested in playing any of these games on the stream, you might want to leave and come back when you finish.
Yeah, I mean, we'll kind of, like I don't think we're gonna get like super heavy into movie spoilers as much, but in relation to how it is in the games, we will try
our best.
We will try our best.
Not now. I mean, if there's any movie spoiler questions you want to ask, then we will answer them. But we assume most people going into this has a familiarity with Sonic.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we have Hot Rod, the Hot Rod Shot. Hi guys, how your day's been?
I've had a productive day. I've been filming
Same.
more videos. There's a lot coming up on the
We're
channel.
working on we're working on one of those videos. Develop this, like
Yes,
guys.
please press
LPX.
like. This happens on live streams a lot. YouTube will start recommending it more if it gets more likes. So if you're watching this, just press the like button while you're here, because that'll help everything.
LPH game, movies, and TV show. No, we're doing game. We're only ranking games.
Yeah, we're doing just games today, because if I'm going to be totally honest, I haven't ever watched Sonic X front to back, and I want to do that before working on like tier lists.
We'll do a separate media Sonic media stream eventually.
Yeah,
probably
when I get off my lazy butt and actually watch the rest of these shows.
Let's see. Don DeVavo, really like your vids, man. Love the Digimon and Gundam tier list ones.
Thank you. The Gundam one was an undertaking that I think most logical people were like, wait, why did you tier list everything down to the shorts? And I was like, because I wanted to. So I'm glad you enjoyed them. And the Digimon one, I think, was one of my more heartfelt rankings of things, because Digimon means a lot to me, just like Sonic does. So I have a deep emotional attachment to things.
Yeah, we gotta be honest. The main thing most people know you for is actually not your biggest franchise. Probably you're into probably.
Yeah, that's true. Technically, my most viewed video is the Toy Story video, which is not something I hardly even cover. And then Sonic has like been a consistent, like hit after hit after hit, even
after like decade-long break from in between Jazzwares and Jacks.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like I think, yeah, no, Sonic stuff on the channel's been doing incredibly well, and that's why we're doing more of it, because the YouTuber thing is like, you want to make what you want, but also, hey, people are watching a lot of Sonic stuff, so it's like, well, I should make more Sonic stuff.
I mean, it helps that like at least the thing that people want is the thing we actually really care about and like. So it's a bonus.
Oh, definitely, because like the thing is, like, every Sonic video that pops off and gets a ton of views makes up for when I make like a Star Trek video and like it gets like 150 views. It's like I can do Thundercat stuff because the Sonic stuff does well.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, you just have to evaluate which one of all of your franchise you review, which one is one of the bigger franchises, and Sonic is probably bigger than both Star Trek and Thundercats.
It has a more dedicated fan base, especially in the toy world, too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying Star Trek is small, but like, I think Star Trek is definitely... I always feel you have to really be in the fan base to be looking up Star Trek stuff.
And especially with Star Trek and the toys, I don't think there's no casual collector market for Star Trek that people are like, oh, this is a cool toy. Like, you have to be into Star Trek to want to get the toys of it because of the nature of how the toys are. Because it's a lot of people that just stand around and talk a lot. And so because of that, you end up with, the toys are not that exciting unless you're a Star Trek person. So
let's see, Don DeVavo, you're the only one who did so far. So I think you talked about the Digimon or Gundam one.
Yeah, probably the Gundam. I've not seen people rank Gundam animes like, or at least as extensively as I did it.
Would it be a Mega Man stuff? Probably not, because I don't think you're interested in Mega Man.
I like Mega Man, but I've never been deeply involved. The only Mega Man game I finished was Mega Man 2.
Like,
yeah.
That's one of the things too. Like, if that might be like, if I ever make content for this channel, that would be my area.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I tried to get into Mega Man. During the Wii U days when I was struggling to find games to play, I bought a ton of Mega Man, and I've played a bit of. I've played a little bit of all the X games. I played all the way through 2, and I played a little bit of, was it ZX? I think was 0.
The Zero/ZX.
Yeah,
games.
I played some of those, and I played some Battle Network, but I've never been like deeply into it. So it's I don't have as much.
Meanwhile, I'm like, next is Sonic. It's like my second other favorite brand.
I can imagine the Archie Mega Man Sonic crossover was up your jam.
You definitely. So and the Kobukiya Mega Man stuff, it's been like haunting me. Such the new stuff they announced. They announced the Axel and Mega Man Galaxy, and that's like, well, time to go collect the other ones.
I forget which kit it was, but I did buy a model kit of Mega Man from Kotobukiya. It was like the classic one.
It's probably a classic rock.
Yeah.
Probably the old one. like because they're planning to do a new one based off his 11 design, which is like the modern look.
Yeah, I think it was more classic. There was a bunch of people picking it up, and I was like, I want a Mega Man, and so that's the one. That's like the one Mega Man toy I have.
I have the Funko because Funko did like random, did a random like 5 figure Mega Man. Like it was like Mega Man is Powers and Wily, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like they were like, I think they were like riding on the World Nintendo Jax stuff because they're in like perfect scale with those figures.
All right, let's see what do we got in the comments because we got.
Travis Clark. So what are you doing right now? Well, we're ranking this.
Yeah, we're gonna rank all of the Sonic games.
I would so to give some clarification in terms of what's not on here. We're counting Sonic and Knuckles as part of Sonic 3. I'm one of those people that don't really view that as a separate game.
Yeah, I mean, I grew like my first Sonic game was Sonic 3 and Knuckles as a PC version, so like they're always linked in my brain.
So that's we're not covering any of the Game Gear games because to be totally honest, the Game Gear games are not really. Not saying their quality is bad, but it's like they're not
significant enough to rank them separately.
The only one that's like significant is Triple Trouble because that introduced Fang into the franchise. But that's it. We're not covering any mobile games, so no Force of Speed Battle or Runners. We're not covering. So a lot of these are in groups. Groups. So when for like Sonic Riders, that's all 3 games. Rider Rivals, that's both games. Rush is both games. Advance is all 3 games. Because a lot of those games are very similar from one each other, like with only like slight differences. So we're more of like it feels like we're with that kind of stuff. We're more ranking upon just not really just the games themselves, but more of like that sub series.
Yeah, basically like that way we don't have this thing be like 4 hours long as we try to decide which is better, Sonic Riders or Sonic Riders Zero Gravity when they're
the only exception when like 2 games are very different, like the storybook games like Black Knight and Secret Rings are very like they have the same rail system gameplay. They're very different and such of that. We're also not covering so none of the Game Gears. Trying to think what else. I think that's like the only ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
We're not counting compilations, so it's cheating.
Yeah, no, I mean there was someone that made a Photoshop of like it was the Sonic the Hedgehog collection of collections, and it was just like
collections.
I was like, I actually would not gonna. I would like that, but
Also, Team Sonic Racing. The Team Sonic Racing engine is not only just for Team Sonic Racing, but also the past racing.
Yeah, basically
games
All-Stars Racing now.
All Stars and Transform, and Sonic 4 is both episodes. So yeah, that's all the clarifications I think we need to mention.
We'll go through it
if you have any questions, feel free. We can answer. Let's see. Read more chat before we start discussing. Don Divalo, because your Thundercats video, I think the latest one is making you want to collect that line of toys. Warning, expensive.
Yeah, I think he has I think there's I saw another comment about them being expensive, but yeah, no, like the thing is that like here's a spoiler to a future video. I just got Wave 4 in. I love this monkey in figure. He was $45, but I felt like he was worth it. But then again, he also was $45. Like the curse of Thundercats is we get this really great line, but they're now $55 a figure. They are not cheap at all.
I mean, it's like it's thankfully that the quality
quality's definitely improved. Like if you guys saw the wave 1 where Lion-O's arm was really loose, like Monkeyin's is much tighter. I've been hearing Wave 2 had some QC problems too, so it's very possible that Mattel Factory was just not on their game. But Wave 3 I thought was great quality wise, and Wave 4, and there'll be reviews on all of these coming up. I mean, there's also like, and then they'll do crazy things like, hey, here's the snowman of Hook Mountain, and he's like the same price as the others because he comes with less accessories.
It's very similar to like NECA Ninja Turtles, where like I look at, and I get Super 7 also with both having the party wagon, because that's like 100 something bucks for both, and because that makes sense, like that I shudder at that price. Like It's a 6-inch scale vehicle. There's no way the hell that would be cheap.
What was it? The Thunder Tank was $450, I think.
450,
and
yeah.
But it's because it can hold all the main Thundercats. So, like, it has seats for the main four,
it's
plus
actually
the 2 kids, plus the 3 extra guys, and probably Snarf whenever they get around to making them. Like,
it's at least in scale. Like, I won't even say, I'm not sure in scale is the right word, but like, you at least fit everyone. Unlike most Ecto ones for Ghostbusters, where I don't think there's, unless you're like Playmobil or Lego. Yeah, there's no Playmobil that Ecto one that fits all 4 Ghostbusters.
Yeah. But yeah, moving forward, because I could talk about Thundercats for hours.
Anyways, read more chat before we start discussing. Are you guys ranking the games, the shows, or both? Just the games. We'll do a future stream about the media, just Sonic media in general.
I need
not
to
just
watch
the shows.
Sonic X in full. That's my admission of guilt.
Maybe and maybe the comics also, because I plan to read all of Archie eventually. I do Smith the Crow. I do want to get into Battle Network and Star Force. Wait for a collection for those. I recommend. If you want to ever get to those 2. Is there between the sub and dub for Sonic X? Yes. A lot.
If you know anything about 4Kids censoring, it happened to Sonic X as well. There's a lot of stuff that was
let's see, Don DeVial, definitely worth it. They're great, but also very expensive physically now, though. No, Leapfrog Sonic game either.
I will tell you, the Leapfrog games are in the F tier for Frog.
Frog. No, they're not. Yeah, they're not bad. It's for Frog.
They're just for Frog.
I'm used to playing. I'm used to paying the 150, 200 for those anime figures. Yeah.
I mean, I'll add that here is a Figma that was like $85 before shipping, versus he's gonna keep knocking things over, but versus $45 Snowman. So there is. This is the thing. It's like, this is the high-end action figure market. You just end up in a lot of weird stuff.
Let's see. I'm actually debating on getting those statues for Thundercats as well. Because I remember
those. They look fantastic. If I wasn't buying all of these, I probably would be getting those statues. But
all right, so that's all the comments so far.
I think we should get to ranking.
So do you want to do it in game order, or just like the order the tier list just have it here?
Okay. Well, I don't want everyone to quit because of my Shot of the Hedgehog opinion. So we're gonna go in order roughly.
So Sonic 1.
Sonic 1. Here's my hot take to start off with the stream, and this is just my personal opinion. Just for context, I started on Sonic 3. Sonic 1 does not age well.
In terms of what I think, because my first Sonic game was actually the Mega Collection Plus for PS2, and I think I played Sonic 2 first before playing Sonic 1. So yeah, Sonic 1 I recently replayed because I played almost every game last year. Replayed every game last year. So Sonic 1 definitely, it has the first game syndrome.
I would definitely
like most franchises.
I enjoy it more as the Sega Ages version because they add some of the features from 2.
Oh yeah, that's the nice thing about Sonic Origins coming out is we're gonna play the Christian Whitehead versions of Sonic 1 and 2 finally, not on mobile devices. And from what I see, that version improves everything wrong, like problems with Sonic 1.
Yeah, it's still got some wonky level design, but it's more playable. I think Sonic 1 is probably a B rank.
Definitely, it's a good starting point, but it's definitely showed his age more and more, especially right after with Sonic 2 the next year.
Speaking of things, are we doing CD before 2? Because technically that's what happened.
Oh yeah, because there's the whole thing where it's no one knows where CD. Sonic Origin puts CD after 1.
Yeah.
Even though I had this big discussion with my friend Owen, going figure out the continuity of CD, and because it's more of we just CD after 3, and that's mostly because Metal. If you look at Mecha Sonic from Sonic 2 and then Mecha Sonic from Sonic 3, and it makes more sense to go Mecha from 2 than Mecha from 3 to Sonic, because we had this kind of Mecha Sonic, formerly what the fandom calls Silver Sonic, had that very tin robot look. He's bulky, he has wheels for his feet. Then Mecha Sonic in history, we always kind of theorize that Eggman made him like bigger, more stronger, because he also still has the wheel feet behind him, and he also has the mono eye. At least what we think is a mono eye. Who knows what he might actually look like front on. So we always kind of think like Metal Sonic is like the final evolution of the robot Sonics, pretty much. Like it's
So I think CD being the second in the timeline is weird.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I always feel CD is still like the last in the classic timeline before Mania, because at least it just that whole continuity with the robot Sonics always feels there.
Well, that being said, how you feel about Sonic CD as a game? Because I have thoughts.
I recently played it last year, and I just couldn't get into it. I always felt the level design literally gave me a headache, because that game, the way how the game works,
right?
Yeah, like
because they were like, "Oh, we have all this render power. Let's fill the screen with as many moving objects as possible."
Yeah, because the CD, all the classic games are a very vertical game. And like all of them have very vertical level design, but like CD really loves bounce you everywhere, and that I remember it was like very late when I was playing CD at night, but like it literally gave me a headache playing it, because the bright colors also really was a headache, and I do not like the time stones, how to get the time stones, because I know there's multiple ways. I like the concept of 2 different ways of getting the time stones, but it's the headache of, because the problem with the time travel mechanic in CD I have is because the way how it works, you need to pass the future past signs, but you need momentum. You need to have enough momentum to actually time travel. And there's moments playing CD where it's like okay, pass through the sign, and then about to be in momentum, and it's something either a bad nick or level design stop me from time traveling.
And coming because the chaotic visuals just make everything really hard. I think that it's too chaotic for its own good.
Yeah, like
I feel about it.
Yeah, and it's one of these where it's like I respect it so much because it introduced so many like Metal Sonic and Amy, which is a great thing, and I will forever love the Toei animations in CD. They're like some of my favorite Sonic animations of all time. And the soundtrack, the U.S. soundtrack, I'm not too big on, especially the Nightmare Feel that is the U.S. boss game.
No, the Japanese soundtrack.
But the Japanese soundtrack is one of my favorite soundtracks. So
I'm gonna go with B because it has a lot of good, but it has a lot of bad.
Yeah, like I don't dislike the game because there's stuff I like, but like comparing it to Sonic 2 and 3, it just it's around the same rank as 1.
All right, let's talk about Sonic 2
then. Sonic 2.
Like I personally love this game. It just feels like, it's kind of like I feel like this with a lot of video game sequels, is like the immediate follow up. They're like, let's take what we did that was great and then just make it better. Like it's just better.
Yeah.
Like it's cleaned up. It's more polished. They're not trying to push the series too far, like into the future. They're just making it better than their first outing.
Yeah, like the level design was so much fun, cleaner. I feel like the momentum physics feel more natural. The boss fights I much enjoy in 2 better than 1. 1 is I hate 1's final boss with a passion.
Oh yeah,
literally
the boss fights.
He is so much waiting for that one. It's like it's a headache. But the only problem I have with 2 is trying to get the Chaos Emeralds, and that's because of fucking Tails' AI is annoying as hell.
Yep.
Just trying to get all the rings and avoid the bombs. Like I'm so grateful on Steam. The Steam port / I think the Sega Genesis collection that's on Switch also has that rewind feature, because I don't think I would have got all the Chaos Emeralds so fast
without it.
Without that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope Origin has that, especially since Sega is taking down those ports of Sonic 1, 2, and 3 in CD just to get Origin. So I hope that Rewind features and Origin still
That would be nice
as an option.
That would definitely be nice because
But
rewind features make older games more manageable in a modern time frame.
Yeah, but Sonic 2 is I say is S tier.
I would agree. I honestly think that like Sonic 2 doesn't have many like crippling flaws or anything that would make it anything outside of S tier, to be honest. Like, it's just solid, really great stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like a lot of that, what we said about Sonic 2 can go to Sonic 3
Sonic 3, I do have like a massive nostalgia bias for because it was my first Sonic game and I played it more than any of the others. And that is like as Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And
yeah, you grew up the PC version with
the PC version. God, that's
fun fact. Fun fact.
Most people don't even know about that. I didn't even like. I realize now how weird it was that there was a PC version.
Well, what's interesting about that because the soundtrack was different on the PC version. And a lot of people thought because there's this whole thing of like, did Michael Jackson compose Sonic 3 or not? Yes or no. And so people think he. So it's up in the air of if he composed the soundtrack. And when the PC port of Sonic Knuckles came out, it had a different soundtrack. So people just replaced it because of the Michael Jackson rights issues. But then last years ago, someone uploaded the original Sonic 3 beta onto the Hidden Palace website, which is a website that has a lot of video game betas.
Yeah.
And it turns out the original soundtrack was the PC soundtrack.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was the most interesting thing. The PC soundtrack was the original soundtrack, so that makes you think that the Jackson did came in later to compose Sonic 3's soundtrack. But yeah, Sonic 3, I love the game so much. I think it has some of the best level design, especially exploration wise.
Yeah, especially when you get to do Sonic 3 and Knuckles, like that connected game is just so good. Like, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's just like the variety of gameplay that you get out of this one. Just being able, like, you know, like in Sonic 3, it's like, hey, this is some excellent Sonic stuff. But like when you get to you add Knuckles, then it's like, oh, hey, look at this Knuckles stuff you get to do.
Yeah, and like I love the addition of the mini bosses in between in Act 1 and Act, because usually Act 1 and 2, you know, Act 1 has the mini boss and Act 2 has the main boss. I really love that, and that's some great stuff. And I love Blue Spheres. That's probably my favorite special stages of the
Oh yeah, no,
classic.
It's honestly the only one I can actually play with any kind of skill and ability.
I kind of wish the special ring locations. I feel some of them really good. Some are really macabre to get some of those special rings. Because there's some. I remember one of the things. It was like in Flying Battery. I want to say in Sonic 3, where one of the special rings was hidden underneath a object that you don't know to move, because like I know there's some objects you can move in Sonic 3, but that one is one of those things where it's like you wouldn't think to move it because you just think it's like background stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's a lot of that in the game, but like it's not like too much where I think it hampers it all.
I know for me, because of how much I played Angel Island Zone, I know every little secret just from like having played it over and over and over again, starting that game. You know, every time it's like, oh no, I died, now I got to get through this again. Also, is it Hydro City or Hydrocity?
Hydrocity.
That is now a canon debate in the IDW comics.
Their comics, I love that so much.
Yeah.
I love also the addition of like Hypersonic with the Super Emeralds, which is a concept I would love to see come back, but probably heavily redesigned at the kids' features nowadays.
Yeah.
And I love that like Tails and Knuckles have their own super forms with Tails' Fookie Army of Death.
Oh yeah. That's the thing too, is that like again, it's like there's so much in 3 and Knuckles that you don't get in other games because they just were like, let's just go for it. You know, they really put all their best efforts into this one.
Yeah, so S rank.
It's S rank above 2 for me because I love 3 and Knuckles. And
you know, like again, it's just 2 was already great, and then 3 just added more. like, you know, like the only kind of complaint I can understand is it's a very long game, but when you play, you know, both games combined, but like I feel it's just a natural evolution of, you know, two
Definitely.
of like
because they get
like the game
longer as
long.
they go on because they put more into it. They have more budget. They can do more with it.
Yeah, so three, yeah. So next in terms
I
of
guess.
chronological,
Is it Fighters or R?
Fighters came out first.
Okay.
That was because that technically Fighters was the debut of 3D Sonic
Yeah.
of like a. I love Fighters. I don't know.
Fighters
There was
is
just,
fun.
like
I enjoy it.
there was a lot. I like because I remember during the you know when all the like screw attack lists and such were dang top 10 lists. I always remember like they always put Sonic the Fighters in the worst categories for some reason. I never understood
They
why.
always played
because,
it on streams too. It was the weirdest thing. They're like, "This is one of the worst games," and then also played it constantly.
Yeah, which I always find like I don't see what's mechanically wrong and like
It's clunky, but
like
it's an early 3D fighting game. What are
you
you
fight.
expecting?
It's like yeah, like you go back to Tekken. Like if you're gonna give Sonic the Fighters so much problems, like Tekken 1 and you know Virtual
Yep.
Fighter 1 should also be in that same category.
Street Fighter EX.
Oh god, yeah.
I think with the fighters, like, does it stand the test of time? Probably not. Is it a fun little 3D brawler thing? Yeah, totally.
And plus, I really like the game, which it brought in Team Hooligan, who's like one of my favorite just group of idiots in the franchise. I love every time like my favorite like Bean is one of my favorite characters from like side material because he is just Daffy Duck from the old Looney Daffy Duck, aka a complete psycho. And I love it.
Yeah.
Also, I love for the HD remaster they brought back Honey, Eggman, and Mel. Because Honey the Cat was a character planned for the original arcade release but scrapped last minute. So they just and like I remember when I think it was when Sonic Gems Collection came out. People found the code, was looking at the code of that game and they found Honey's model and she became this kind of like big like fandom character pretty much. Is like like the
She was
the
like
lost
this lost character that the fandom like attached themselves to.
and and then with the HD remaster they brought her back and now she's officially canon.
Yeah.
The franchise now, which I really love because after that came her Archie appearance, and now she's now appearing in the a lot of the classic media stuff since they're kind of pushing the whole classic and modern as separate dimensions thing now. They've been using a lot of these other classic characters again, which if they're gonna keep doing classic as a separate world from modern, I'm glad they're using the classic characters more outside of the main trio.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad that. So
Honey needs to get in more stuff, like, just in general. I think the IDW comic, I love it, and it'd be great if we could get a second ongoing that takes place in the classic universe. Because the
30th anniversary
is all we got, and I'm like, I want more. Give me more.
My favorite, like one of my favorite stories is still the Sonic in the car.
Yes.
Segment in that, where it's like just because I run fast doesn't mean I want to I want to keep running all the time.
Yeah,
Sometimes relax my legs.
Yeah. So I think with fighters, I'm gonna be bold enough to say A tier.
Yeah, it just it's just fun, and I want to see more rocket metal design from the intro of the fighters brought back because that's just a silly design. I love it.
Oh, it's great.
So Sonic R.
Sonic R. This is the greatest soundtrack that Sonic has ever had.
No, I
will not be debating this. It is the greatest soundtrack that Sonic has ever had. It is the greatest video game soundtrack of all time. Even
I don't understand the hate for it because that was another thing like during the old days of YouTube where it's like people like the soundtrack about Sonic R.
But it's amazing.
Have you actually listened? It's like that classic '90s cheat. You're like kind of I know it's a Eurobop, but like very.
It's got like a lot of pop. It's got some like it's the most upbeat, happy soundtrack like that.
Yeah.
Can you feel the sunshine? Will literally brighten up my day.
Like like Escape to the City or not Escape from the City. Yeah, Escape from the City. Yeah, or like and I think it was like turn it back, like
Like a lot,
bring.
all Sonic games have great music, but Sonic R is just on another level.
It just is just like you listen and those tracks with this like just get stuck in your head. Any
Now,
soundtrack, I think
mechanically, as a
R.
racing game, it's weird as hell.
It's interesting because I love the idea of an on-foot Sonic racer. I kind of wish they bring, well, I guess Rivals is sort of one, but not really. But I would love to see another attempt at R's formula because because what happened with R is it was actually not meant to be a Sonic game or at least what it was because Traveller's Tales, who made the game,
The
John,
Lego people?
before this, they became the Lake Wheel. John Hunt, I forget his last name, but he has his own YouTube channel, and he talks about the behind the scenes of Traveller's Tales games. And what originally the Sonic R was meant to be just a standard kart racer game. It was not connected to like the Sonic IP. It was just meant to be like a car racing game they were gonna make. And I think what happened was because Sonic Extreme was meant to be the Saturn Sonic game before, and the behind the scenes troubles of that game. I think, So I think I think was remember is Sega contacted them because they work on Sonic 3D Blast before. They had contacted them and like, hey, we need a Sonic game out by the holidays for the Sega Saturn. Can you make something? And I think it was a very like I don't want to say last notice, but like I don't think R had like a big development time, so that's why the game only has like six tracks.
Yeah.
So that's why Sonic, everybody feels like a car besides the Amy who's in a car, who's really not the worst controlling character in the game.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot of potential that it's never really fulfilled, and that always feels like I honestly like I love the soundtrack so much, but I don't know if I can put it any higher than C just because it doesn't capture its spirit.
It's always interesting. Like R is interesting because they made new characters like Tails, Doll, and Mecha Knuckles. Like Mecha Knuckles, you could kind of understand. Like it just Eggman probably made just a like a Metal Sonic for Knuckles. And I love they brought bringing back also recently. Tails, I still want to know what was the creation behind that.
There was a story there that no one wants to tell because they may get dragged down to hell before the answer will be spoken.
Yeah, the original like before Sonic Galaxy, like Tails was the original creepypasta Sonic character.
I'm gonna say C rank just because it does have its own merits, but it has a lot of mechanics that do hold it back from really.
I do love Sonic's. I do love the model for everyone in that game. They're like simple polygon. Like Sonic's limbs are just popsicle sticks in R, and I kind of love that.
I appreciate that.
So next would be Sonic Adventure.
Oh my god, okay.
All right, now this is gonna be the most. Now we get to the discussion point because we have story now.
Yeah, we got
stories.
Okay, so like I'm gonna be real, guys. I was like playing Sonic Adventure again on the PS3 version like in 2020. I have not finished it yet because I blew through Sonic, I blew through Tails, I blew through Knuckles, I blew through Amy, and then I started Big, and I've been stuck on the second Big the Cat mission for like 2 years because I could have I played it in the past and I played it on the GameCube and it was fine, but as an adult I do not have the patience for that section of the game.
I suppose you didn't skip the Gamma. Well, I know you had to do Big eventually.
I was just like, let me just go in order so I can get everything done, and I'm just like, my god, Big the Cat.
So Sonic Adventure, Big, we have to. Oh man, so Sonic.
We need a remake that fixes mechanics on both Amy and Big because I think they're the weakest parts of the game.
So Sonic Adventure, I absolutely love this game. It's one of my favorite games in the franchise, and I think a lot to it is I think any Sonic game, I think it has the best atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. It has really great world building.
It's like a lot of the Station Square, the ancient like out of any Sonic game, that is the Sonic game I get sucked into the world of because I think Sonic team did such a great job making Station Square and the ancient ruins and such a livable place in like And we get this is when we got the modern era with all the modern characterizations, and we had some I think some of the great stories we got. I think going into because I think the classic I think did say Knuckles was the last of his race of the echidnas in the Manual of 3. So I do love they explored it more in Venture, especially going into the Chaos Emeralds. You talk about the Master on the Chaos Emeralds, and
It's so funny how we separate classic Sonic from modern Sonic when you think about it. Modern Sonic has been the last 22 years of Sonic.
Yeah,
only the first 8 years is actually the classic era. It's not really an even split anymore.
Yeah, but yeah, we still don't fully know about the Chaos Emeralds, and I feel like Frontiers, especially with what they teased a little bit in the Tails Tube thing recently, I feel like they might go more into their Frontier story maybe, but still, really good attempt, and because it's kind of like the themes of adventure stories, kind of like the regrettable actions of the Echidna race and how they were, bad. You're killing poor baby chows who did nothing except existing, and with the chaos because it's chaos and such. And I got some great character development stories with Tails growing into his own after this separating from Sonic, and this is when I think this is when we got his backstory, of being seeing Sonic and being inspired to be inspired by him and trying to match his speed. I want to say that was always been Tails' story, but we got more clarification in Adventure 1.
Mm-hmm.
Knuckles' the story about learning more about his past, his past with people. Amy growing more into an independent, again, her own independent self. Gamma's story is one of the best in the franchise. Just this kind of.
And then Big is looking for his damn frog.
It's wrong.
I love Big, but man, he does not have the same intrigue or depth as the rest of them.
Because Big the Cat, I think gets hate on because of his gameplay, which I understand.
I think he's a lovable big dumb cat, but at the same time, you start to resent him after you've been playing hours of his fishing mode.
Yeah, which I understand, but that's not the character's fault. That's the gameplay's fault. Because Big, I think what's Big's charting point is he's not stupid, but he's just very simple-minded. He's just a guy that lives in the woods with his best friend Frog, and he just gets into wacky scenarios, which is my favorite part of the character. He's just this nice dude.
Mhm.
Every time he interacts with him, he's just this nice teddy bear character. And I feel like a lot of the comics are using well, because one of my favorite stories is in the 2020 annual for IDW. It turns out Big was in almost every issue in the background, just trying to find Froggy.
He's just been there. He's like, where's Froggy?
He's trying to look. So that's my favorite thing. But in terms of gameplay for Adventure, it's Sonic. I think it's one of the Sonic Adventure gameplay is one of the best tradition to 3D I've seen from 2D, because I feel like it just feels like a natural evolution of the 2D gameplay, and
in ways that 3D Blast was not.
Same with Tails. I liked with Tails, using his foot. Knuckles treasure hunting, I think, really works with his glide, and the fact that the Emerald Radar can take all emeralds, which is nice. Amy's gameplay, I think, works
too easily with Amy because she'll bounce on the ground by accident and then throw herself over an edge.
I think I run into that issue only a few times when I was playing.
It happened to me too much in the Eggman Factory.
Yeah, definitely. Amy's concept, concept, I think works. I think the problem with Amy is, she's not as fast as Sonic, but I think they made her too slow.
Especially when her whole thing is survive.
Survive, yeah. I never felt Zero was a problem, because all he does is whack it with the Pico Hammer, and he's dealt with. But it becomes more of an annoyance over time. There's more of an annoyance. You try to do like the puzzles in like the Eggman and the egg carrier stage, and Zero's in the way, and like you trying just like trying to make sure like you it's annoying. But like I overall don't think it's bad.
It's not
I think
terrible. It's just
I think what they
obnoxious,
should I felt they should have focused more on platform like more platforming on Amy, but still I love gamma stages. I love just bang bang just shoot. Like I know some people's problem with gamma is the time limit, but like I never really noticed the time limit with gamma because I'm not sure there's like an in-universe reason why there's a time limit, but like the time is always going down. In order to get raised up, you have to keep shooting. But like the lock on, like it's like a immediate like lock on, multi lock on. So like I never really noticed the timeline. I think I only really ran out of time once.
Yeah,
Playing gamma.
I remember it running pretty smooth. So I mean, I guess we're pretty much just ready to rank this thing. We keep talking its praises. I still want to put it in
because yeah, the only thing I think holds SA1 back is Big's
and that is
gameplay.
1/6 of the game. So
the game. And here's the thing: I think the problem with Big's gameplay is the water is too big for the fish. When it comes to a lot of fishing mini games and games, they don't make like they usually have like a small
because like actually lining up the fish to catch is just a nightmare.
Yeah, because a lot of games like you usually have like a area of where the fish would be, but the problem with Big is say Sonic Team made the whole river like a big area, not like a small area. So that's why it takes so long to get anywhere because it's a big pool, a big body of water, and the fishes are you're there, froggies you're there, and like that's the problem. I also find it funny people think Big's gameplay was because of the fishing rod accessory for the Dreamcast, when in actuality it doesn't actually work in Big's gameplay.
Yeah.
Which I find because the fishing rod essentially was made for Sega bass fishing, not for Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
It's just like that kind of happy. That's kind of funny coincidence.
So Sonic Adventure 2: Rise of Shadows, I'm calling it because the Edgelord arrives.
So SA2 is kind of complicated for me in terms of gameplay versus story.
Here's my thing.
Because
I don't like SA2 as much as I like SA2 Battle.
Well, yeah, SA2 Battle is just a better port, a better version of SA2.
I know Sonic Adventure is a classic Dreamcast game, but it was better on GameCube in both versions.
Yeah, but SA2 Battle, in terms of gameplay, like Sonic and Shadow Stage, I think are great. Eggman and Tails stage, I actually like. I used to not be too big into them, but like I actually had a lot of fun. Eggman stages, I wish were a little better designed because man, I fell down so many bottomless pits in the Eggman stages.
I like the variety though, that's for sure.
The treasure hunting stages are a very hit and miss for me.
Yeah.
Some are really nice design. Some I remember spending 20 minutes in is because the radar. Because I never understood the changing the radar for only taking one at a time instead of multiple, all of them at once. I really hated that change. And especially Rouge and Knuckles' last stages are... I remember spending like almost an hour on some of them.
I think I've never actually finished them. I think I just ran out of patience.
Yeah, and like... SA2 has some of the boss fights in SA2. Some are good, but like I remember especially... the Sonic and Shadow boss fight, the last their respective final bosses. I remember I hated playing that, and not because of respect of Sonic and Shadow. It's because for some reason the road behind you is like collapsing behind you.
Yeah.
And for some reason it so much problem. Like mostly deaths were because of that than like the boss itself.
Right.
And the final stage in the last story, the checkpoints. I wish there was been better checkpoints because you die because the final level is you go from character to character to character, and the checkpoints is when that character starts. There's no in between checkpoints, and I remember I was about to finish Sonic stage and I died and back to the beginning, and I remember I get so angry at that.
Yeah.
So SA2 is a gameplay. As a gameplay experience, I feel like I don't enjoy as much. Now I don't hate it, but I think I enjoy SA1 gameplay wise, but story wise is SA2's. I think is why SA2 is such importance to the franchise because
Definitely.
SA2, it's because of Shadow. Because Shadow is one. I feel like if there's any character, and I feel we might go into this with Shadow's game, but if I feel there's any character I feel is very misrepresentative by media and modern media and not even the fandom, but
I think
other.
gaming in general always sees Shadow as like this. He's the edgelord, edge hedgehog, and it's like, yeah, but he's actually kind of an incredibly tragic character.
Yeah, that's why I always get so annoyed by some modern interpretation of Shadow, and people think of he's just Eddie the Hedgie.
And I think it's
Because he's
simply
not.
because of the opening to the Shadow game.
Yeah, because Shadow, the whole Project Shadow storyline, if you actually look up it, is actually a very dark story. Like a very
I'm not sure how the movies are going to handle it.
I want them to do that justice.
I want them to go darker with it, but I'm also like, yeah, but they got to keep it within a certain range in order to make a movie that's going to make money.
Yeah, that's the thing with Project Shadow is it's not like grim dark, but it's like it felt. That's the thing with SA2 story. I felt because the idea of SA1 and SA2 is they were made for people who grew up with Sonic 1, 2, 3, and such, and it's supposed to be aged with the fans, and that's why I actually will defend 06 the story when we get to it. But it felt like a natural like the fans this because SA2 was the 10th anniversary game.
Yeah.
For Sonic, so like it makes sense to fans were like 12 or 13 at that point probably. So like we want to the writing team wanted to richer the story alongside it, and Shadow's whole it's just a whole tragedy because Gerald the whole concept is Gerald wanted to make a life form that can cure any disease because Maria has this like unknown disease that can't make her live on Earth, and that's why she's on the colony. And it goes into that, ignoring the retcons when we get to Shadow, it was a story about a man playing God pretty much, and that was the whole fear factor of Gun is they see, Gerald, they think Gerald's going so far, even though because the thing I think people miss out is Project Shadow was asked by Gunn to Gerald. They told Gerald about creating Project Shadow, and I remember and that was the whole thing, and that's the whole hypocrite thing about Gunn is they're the one.
Their name is Gunn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite joke in the movie too. One of my jokes in the movie too. Song of Adventures PG. I saw LPH. Song of Adventures PG. SA2 is PG-13.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonic Adventure 2 is just it's a more mature story and it's a more in-depth story. In a lot of ways.
And the whole tragedy of just and because Gerald was not he was not an evil man like Gunn was trying to make him out to be, and that's the tragedy. The only reason why Gerald let the Ark crash into Earth because they took Maria from him because it's not, and that's because Maria was his granddaughter, and Shadow it was like because when with Shadow that was like before the Shadow retcons, that was Maria was probably like the only person Shadow really interacted with on the Ark, and once when he saw the Gun shoot her down and like misunderstanding Maria's wish that's his goal was to carry on like Gerald's her wishes of destroying Earth. And because that's the thing because Shadow was never meant to be he's called the ultimate life form, but it's not like I feel like people misunderstand what the ultimate life form tag means. It doesn't mean to be this like god level being like a Dragon like Vegeta complex. It was meant to be like a life form that's like a life form that is a savior or because the main Shadow you can just think instant like dark character because it's Shadow is the darkness, but
he's because he's seen as evil Sonic when he's more like he is more the Venom to Sonic's Spider-Man in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
He's the
because
Vegeta to Sonic's Goku.
but even then, like he's not like
he's not
I
wanting
hate
to
you so.
destroy the world. He just
Yeah,
wants to be left alone mostly.
yeah, because one of my favorite. I don't remember if this was like a actual reason behind the meme or not in universe, but like my favorite like fan interpretation of the meme Shadow is I think X said it. Whereas like he's called Shadow because he's looking over what's always next to you and overlooking you, a shadow, and that's like I love that reason behind the meme is he's meant to be this savior for Earth, and just tragedy happened upon things, and while he went in the darker direction, he was in SA2,
Yeah.
and that's why his sacrifice in SA2 was a great tragedy because he's but in like full circles he's carrying on Maria's wishes, and that could go into like how like should Shadow stay dead or not, and I say no to where its character goes to in 06, but like there's any character I feel is so misunderstand is Shadow's character, and I think that's what carries SC2 so much and why is such
and is that why it's going in the S tier for storytelling?
Yes, because
I think it deserves it because it's I put the wrong one up there. Oops.
Yeah, because
I blacked out and put Shadow the Hedgehog in S tier.
My blackout like the game, the game over. But yeah, like yeah, because my problem with gameplay aside, SA2 is an important game because I remember, because I remember when I was young stupid kid. I remember being like, Sonic 2 is not as Sonic 2 is not as good as many people made shit and good, it's overrated. And like as I grew up, of course, I understand more. I really delve into the Sonic stories and characters. Makes me appreciate the game because one of my favorite things actually is Eggman in the game because his speech. I remember he said I remember his speech at the end of the game, going like how he look up to Gerald and like Gerald so much, and how again there's that question of like is he really a bad guy?
Yeah.
And again, he isn't, and that's why I think SA2 is such a beloved game in the franchise. Not like not only because
I mean, also people can talk music. My God.
Live and Learn. You can always listen to it. Live and Learn, and I can never get tired of it. So before we go to Advance, because that's only the next game I released, I'm gonna read some of the comments. So
Smith the Crow said that we mentioned Mean Bean Machine or Sonic Spinball. All right, so I'll take over this. I played both extensively. I have like a mental deficiency for Sonic Spinball, but
I mean, for Mean Bean Machines, do you like Puyo Puyo?
Yeah, that's the thing. So like, Mean Bean Machine is a Sonic animated reskin of Puyo Puyo, and I love Puyo Puyo. It's fun. It's like Tetris, but more devastating to your mental psyche and self-confidence. But I played a lot of Mean Bean Machine. I like it. How do I rank it on Sonic games? It's hard to do because it is just...
It's a Puyo Puyo, not a Sonic game. So
With Spinball is like an interesting pinball take because you actually still control Sonic as a ball and you have some maneuverability as Sonic as the ball because that allows you to actually save yourself from like losing, and I really appreciate that, and I can get why some people may not like it, but Sonic Spinball for me, I played it on any platform I can get it on, and it actually, like, I actually really love it. It's just hard to rank it because it's a pinball game.
My only issue with pinball is I feel the physics when the Sonic physics, like when he's not being pinball mode, is wonky wonky.
Absolutely.
Especially when you're so used with the main main trilogy. Only just been because when you play Spinball, like your memory, muscle memory is gonna feel like you think it's gonna feel like Sonic 1, 2, 3. No, it's not. Sonic is much heavier when he's walking about. So the reason the comments record to said the Crow. Can't wait for Sonic Origins. Sonic 2 Mobile was awesome. Can't wait to play them again. Both Sonics are great in their own way. Talk about CD. What I want to know is how Sega is removing Sonic 1, 2, and 3 from Steam with Sega Genesis. Question. What I imagine is probably if you still have the games, you're safe, but you can't buy them again after when Origin comes out. Sega need to bring back Honey the Cat. If they make another Sonic Mania game, I would like or like more games. If you're gonna make more classic era
We should
games,
have another racing game, but it has like 40 people in it instead of just like 12.
when we get to Team Sonic Racing, that's gonna be the thing we're gonna talk about with Team Sonic Racing. Traveler's Tale did get work on Sonic again years later via Lego Dimensions. That's one. If there's anything about Lego Dimensions I wish I got to play was the Sonic DLC.
It's the only
Because
part I would have played, but I wasn't gonna buy Lego Dimensions to do so.
yeah, same. And yeah, good luck getting that aftermarket now. It's probably cheaper to get the new Lego Sonic set than trying to get the game and the complete and the Sonic pack.
Pretty much.
Let's see, LPS. The doll is the devil. The tail saw is the devil.
Oh, absolutely.
Syndical. Big the cat, secretly Duke Nukem. Because, yes,
Thanks,
because.
physics.
Well, no, because Big the cat is voiced by the same voice actor as Duke Nukem.
Oh, that too.
And now he's voiced by Gohan because he's Kyle Hayward in the new cast. That reminds me how Shadow's character profile from Sega All Stars Racing mentioned battle. I'm assuming he transformed. Mentioned he likes nothing, and yeah, that's not true. So that's catch up in the comments. So again, if anybody watching, if you have anything to say about any of these games, feel free to discuss in the chat.
And if for some reason the chat's not working for you, and it's not letting you post, just hit the subscribe button and it'll let you post. I did that because I'm trying to get to 13,000 subscribers. We're getting close, so I was like, all right, let's turn that on. So if you want to comment, like I have it set so that if you just hit subscribe, then you'll be able to comment like right away. So that is.
So anyway, so
also hit the like button if you're watching and haven't yet. I appreciate that a whole lot. That helps with everything.
So next games after SA2 was Sonic Advance. So have you played any of the Advance games?
I played them, but I haven't played them extensively because I'll be honest, I didn't play them until I could emulate them because I never had them on the Game Boy Advance for some reason. Even though that was like my first console, I just didn't have the Sonic games on it.
I had Sonic Advance 1 and 3 as a kid. Never had 2, really enough.
I mean, we can keep this one kind of short because I feel like there's not that much to talk about them.
Yeah, because honestly, the things I want to talk about Advance is more related to battle than anything. But like, the Advance games are fun games. The only thing I really hate about them is the Chaos Emeralds. Trying to get the Chaos Emeralds in all 3 games is a nightmare.
I like that kind of like, hey, it's a modern Sonic game, but it's in the classic style in ways like idea.
And yeah, I love they added Amy in Advance 1, and Advance introduces Cream. And they're great, and Cream is a monster because cheese can destroy everything in Advance 2. And I actually really love the partner mechanic in Advance 3. I really like that a lot. How because there's so much combinations where whoever's the first and second leads. And Advance with Advance 3 I really like because Advance 3 I really like in terms of because all 3 games don't really have story.
Yeah, they're just kind of there, and that's fine.
But Advance 3 because Advance 3 is a sequel to Battle because that was bringing back Emerald as Gemerald, and that's why Advance 3 I think kind of gets a little notch from me because at least if I were to rank the game separately, Advance 3 probably be a little higher because it continues Battle story with Emerald now as Gemerald, and there's Hank here I wish he's brought back into the games because he's Gemerald's using on IDW Comics a lot now, which I'm really glad because every time you see Cream you see Gemerald. But it's like, because, this goes into battle, but more battle than Advance, but like, I really love they brought back Emerald as Gemerald, and love his design, and I really hope we get a figure. Jax figure of him, because, I mean...
They're gonna run out of characters eventually and just start having to get really obscure. So... I
mean, GE, who makes all the Sonic plushies, just released a Emerald plush recently. So Sega is approving of these characters. So I hope they.
I would say let's get Advanced probably placed around B.
Yeah, they're all great games, but I don't think they're as good as
nothing like groundbreaking in a lot. Anyway.
Yeah, they're especially compared to Sonic 3 and 2. Sonic 3 and 2, they're not as as grand again. I hate getting the Chaos Emeralds in the Advanced games. Read in the chat. Next will be Heroes.
Heroes. I have thoughts.
So reading the chat, the special stages in Sonic Advance 1 can go to hell. Yep. I think I play Sonic Advance 2 the most. Jack Spare do Blaze. I think we're gonna get Blaze soon.
It'll happen.
It'll happen. It'll definitely happen. Like I mean, Jax is in terms of Jax. With you look at the Mario and Sonic line, they have actually done 2 female characters and the 4-inch scale. Where the Mario line, they're just now getting to Wendy Okupa in the 4-inch line. They just now did Rosalie and Daisy in the 2-inch scale.
I still can't believe that Jax had a World of Nintendo line, and then we're just like, whatever, we'll do Mario only.
Well, in that case, I'm not sure Nintendo. That was just Nintendo saying like, just do only Mario or not.
Like it was World of Nintendo, and they did have the Nintendo characters in the beginning, and then like they just kept going into World of Nintendo, and it was just World of Nintendo but Mario, and then eventually now they're just packaging it as Mario, which is nice. But...
Mario, yeah, which is weird. Which is even weird because apparently some people were able. I think I don't think not anymore, but I think back when they switched to the Mario packaging, is apparently some people did found like some of the Zelda figures re-released in Zelda themed package, but I think those were like really rare. So Sonic Heroes.
Oh my god! Can I just gush about Sonic Heroes?
Oh yeah. So in terms of the 3D Sonic, this was my first. I grew up with the horrible PS2 port, but
I had the GameCube version.
So yeah, you got the actual good version.
It wasn't my first 3D Sonic game. We'll get to that in a minute. But it was my second. And Sonic Heroes, from the outset of its theme song to playing all the way through this game, it's so fun, and I love the team dynamic so much. I love that mechanic of, here, pick your team of 3, and then you start going through stages.
Yeah, that's the thing, because even people who don't like Heroes gameplay, they say the team mechanic is great.
There's a reason why we still call them Team Dark and Team Chaotix. And all that.
According to Sega, they're not officially a team, which I call
bull. So funny
on.
Because the day they did that, the Uno Sonic game came out. Like the Sonic Uno cards came out, and it has Shadow Rouge and Omega together as Team Dark. Okay.
And which is why they said that, because they gave permission to make Omega and Rouge figure for the Jax line. So like, are they or not? But Sonic Heroes. I love Sonic Heroes, even with its faults. Because fun fact, the development of Heroes was kind of awful because apparently there was crunch, like super crunch. Because let's say by the end of the game development, there was only one level designer, and he had like barely any sleep. Because that was during Sega. Because that's more due to because Sega was having financial troubles. Because this is after they fell out of the console market.
Yeah, they were like out of money.
So they were in a very weird space of being buy out by multiple companies into Sammy bought them. Now they're on Sega Sammy. But Heroes, yeah, I love Heroes. Even with some of the wonky physics, I just enjoy playing the game because the idea of Heroes, it was not meant to be Adventure 3. Because even in interviews, Azuka said like they wanted to make Heroes its own sub series, and sadly it didn't. Because that's why it was different. Because it was very classic Sonic in terms of level by level. They brought back the special stages. Okay, that's one thing I don't like. Oh, here's I hate the special stages. I think
special stages in most Sonic games are terrible. That's a fact.
Well, at least the hat pipe one, I hate the hat pipe.
I just don't even bother with them most of the time.
But yeah, because even with some Heroes, problem, I honestly do like a lot of the level design. Is how you use. They make you use all 3 team members.
It's not like the other 2 are there for like backup. Like you actually need to use all of them, and that's part of the strategy of getting through the levels.
Yeah, and I love just the soundtrack. Heroes soundtrack has to be one of my favorites of the franchise. Plus the Crush 40 songs, and plus this does a lot. This game is a very big game because they brought in all in the teams and the characters. Because Team Sonic was always there, and the introduction of Team Dark with the proper introduction of Omega, one of my favorite characters in the franchise, was great.
And then getting Vector and Espio and
But yeah, bring back Team Chaos.
So
Have you played? I guess it's quick addendum. Have you played Knuckles of Chaos?
I finally did like about a year and a half ago because I figured out how to emulate stuff. So I got to fill in these games I've never played. But Knuckles Chaotix is such a weird game, but I appreciate its weirdness.
Yeah, but so I love they brought back Team Chaos, and I kind of love they keep using them. I'm glad they're not like just one-off characters for heroes. And like, just my favorite thing about Chaos, the Team Chaos, is they're just literally the quest for rent.
Yeah, basically.
because I think that's why, because like I think out of all any like characters, like because you got your adventure, you got your heroic characters with Team Sonic and Team Dark, and, but then you have characters like Team Chaos where they're just guys living in the world, just doing their own thing. They're running their own detective industry, and I think my favorite part of Team Chaos is how they're not like they could easily make them kind of greedy people, but like Vector a lot of like. One, I love they're not like dumb like this detectives like hack detectives where it's like they said detectives but they don't do any detective. No, like Vector actually is a smart guy and he actually like he figured out that Eggman was their caller, which I love. And again, like my favorite thing is like they will like when it comes to like important things like saving the world, they won't like go like where's the money. It's like that, such like that. And
plus their song.
I love the Team Chaos theme. And I love their Team Blast. I love their Team Blast. It's just them horribly singing badly. That's one of my favorite things. And with Team, Team Rose, got Team Rose with Amy, Cream, and Big, which for some reason Sega just can never make that team consistent.
I know they changed every game practically.
But yeah, I just and
Sega,
also
Team Dark isn't really a thing. Also, Sega makes Team Sonic Racing and makes Team Dark a thing.
Team Dark a thing, yeah. It's and also I love the main Metal Sonic, the villain. It's such a Neo. I am praying we get Neo Metal Sonic figure eventually because I love that design so much. I'm
gonna go out on a limb and put Sonic Heroes in an S tier.
Yeah, like even like with its faults, I never really have any problems with Heroes at all. Yeah. It's like if there's any Sonic game, I always call my comfort game. I always kind of say Heroes. And again, I feel like a lot of it are just love for Heroes is very nostalgia.
Oh, totally,
nostalgia. 100%. Yeah, but like
the thing is that like Sonic Heroes nostalgia runs deep enough to like watching Sonic movie and going, is this a Heroes reference?
like in the back of your head when you saw the Team Sonic together, you just hear in the back of your head you just hear Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, no, it's it's going in S tier. I don't care. It's our ranking.
And I think like it really has made a really big impact on the fandom. Whereas like to this day, you see people trying to make their own like teams with some characters. Like I know like people like. Be like for IDW, they like Tango Whisperer and Jewel is like they see them like as a
need a new
team.
Sonic Heroes like game.
At least I want them to finally make a new character to make Blaze and Silver like a third official member.
They need their like funny cute sidekick. That's what they need.
Like they're like a flight type. I guess.
Oh my god! Give them Chip.
Chip. He's too busy underneath the earth.
Just give them Chip.
Sorry. Next is let's see. Read the comments before we go to the next.
Comments before we
yes, the LVH because LVH because Mario sells. Yeah, GameCube version is the best version of the game. Why Sega Team Dark?
It was something like they're not actually a team; they just happen to hang out all the time.
I think again, it's that stupid trying to make Shadow the edgy loner character, which he is not. Because my favorite, because especially with actually looking at Heroes, and then we get to especially 06, Team Dark of any team is it's a found family dynamic, which and that's actually what I love, especially with Archie. What they've done with Team Dark, they really emphasize that found familyness with the tree, the tree, which is why I'm so glad Jax finally made the team finally. And that's so again. But the reason why this whole there's no Team Dark is again they really want to really push Shadow as the anti-edgy hero, just loner type. So if the girl Love Life is canon to Sonic lore, since Sonic Twitter says everything is canon. Wouldn't Mania count as being wouldn't Marie count as being with Blazing Silver? I mean, they had to use Marie again. That's the thing. No, make Sticks to remember.
Oh,
She's
funny.
canon to the main universe. But anyways, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Can I just go off on this one?
Yes. So because,
I have the nuclear bomb of hot takes that people do not like when I say this, and I just want it to be on stream. Functionally, structurally, storytelling-wise, this is Sonic the Hedgehog, the Sonic Adventure 3. Because it has so many of the same elements as Sonic Adventure, it just happens to star Shadow and has alternate paths.
I mean, that's, I guess you go into, like, I guess in terms of the adventure formula, do you count the adventure formula as the style gameplay or the ability of switching multiple characters?
I think that it is... The thing is that in Shadow, just like you can in Sonic Adventure, you have choice as to where you want to go. With Shadow, the choice is while you're playing, because whether you want to be good or evil or neutral. Whereas Adventure, you have to pick a character to go down a different path. But you have multiple different stories going on simultaneously depending on where you go. But the biggest factor is that you have Hedgehog character in world that has human characters and cities and all that. So it actually stylistically feels like an adventure sequel.
Well, I mean, especially with because it's so, if you call it Shadow spin-off game, where like I don't count it as a spin-off because it literally continues the story from Heroes.
Yep, and also the fun part
Shadow
is
Louis'
which
memory.
ending is canon.
Only the true ending. Okay, so Shadow. Okay, so with Shadow the Hedgehog,
Oh, by the way, this was my
more...
first 3D Sonic game, just so everyone
that's
knows.
your Shadow.
That was my first, because I got a GameCube in 2005, and this was the most recent one.
So with Shadow, I honestly, I feel more, I give Shadow more slack than most people about the whole gun combat, the darker tone, the cursing, because of the era it came out in, because it came out in 2005, and the biggest games of that era, GTA, Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, like those are like the big games.
Even Pokemon that year with Pokemon XD was going for the whole dark, edgy vibe.
Yeah, like I can't really blame Shadow for going the Sonic team taking that direction when that was literally the big games
was keeping
era.
Sega afloat, and they needed to chase the money, which the money was chasing the trend of the dark, edgy mid-2000s video game craze.
Yeah, so that's what I don't feel. That's what I give him more slack. Now, I don't think it handled it 100% well.
Oh no, they definitely didn't handle it well. And that game it's funny because I think when you show people the opening of the Shadow the Hedgehog game,
the
second that he loads the Glock, it's a whole different experience. It's like I think recently I was telling my mom about Sonic game history. And I was like, here, look at some Sonic game intros. And it's just like, oh, hey, Sonic CD and Adventure. And then she's like, oh my god, he has a gun. It's just so jarring.
Like, this game I have very mixed opinions now. More because I
played I played the hell out of it as a 10-year-old, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, same. I did the same with the PS2 version. But, like, I think it's more of, like, my problem of Shadow now is more how it affected the character now because
it changed his perception in a negative way for a lot of reasons.
That's the thing which frustrates me with Shadow because
for the fact that like the tediousness to be good or bad is just not even worth it most times, and you might as well just grab the Chaos Emerald and move on with your life.
So yeah, because here's the thing, with Shadow, I feel like going in a stage by stage route, I don't think work. I think because I saw people discuss this before, like years ago, where I think Shadow couldn't work if it had the hub worlds of Adventure, where you can literally go like, do you want to go to the dark mission or the hero mission or the neutral mission?
Instead of trying to do like a mission is deciding like what are you doing, and it's like, and because that's the thing is that like You're like, oh, I want to be a good guy, and then you can't find that one last damn
One
black
black
alien, and then
alien.
it's just like, I'm just gonna grab the emerald and move on.
Yeah, so gameplay wise, so the gun combat, I actually have no problem with the gun combat because the auto lock on the guns are actually pretty.
I like the
actually pretty
variety
good.
because honestly, the homing attack did not work very well, and then having the gun combat as an option or sword combat as well, because there was a bunch of weapons. It's not just guns.
Melee, there's a lot. Like Shao can actually fisticuff in the
Yeah,
game.
he can punch stuff. It's great. And then like he'll pick up swords in some of the stages, and it's just like there's some crazy stuff. It's just the funniest thing is that like I feel like the game has this whole vibe going for it, and then like the Sonic characters will show up, like the rest of the Sonic characters will show up, and the whole vibe is just like it's so weird because it's like there's explosions happening and there's a war between aliens and gun, and then Sonic's just like, "Hey Shadow, how's it going?"
Oh, how's it going? No one.
Or
no
like
one tell
Charmy
me.
shows up in the facility that's like cloning people and doing genetic experimentation, and it's like, okay, there's some tonal whiplash in this game.
That's so Shadow. Like so, a lot of the stuff in Shadow, I don't think it's horrible on paper, but its execution I think affects it. So the black arms, I don't think it's a bad like I know people say having aliens and Sonic and jumping the shark, and I don't personally feel that way. It just I feel like there's a better way to tie the black arms more to the Sonic lore than just say aliens. But still, I don't hate the black arms. I don't hate Black Doom. The gun commander, which fun fact, his name is Commander Tower according to Chronicles, so that's what I usually call him. Commander Tower's character, I don't think is bad. I'm not sure how I feel about them retconning that, like, because you think there was more, like people just think it was Gerald and Maria and Shadow on the Ark. No, it was a colony. There was multiple people on the Ark. So like I don't feel that retcon was that bad, but it's more of like the fact that he saw Black Doom making Shadows the one I feel kind of iffy on. Like, and also you go into why does he work for Gun when Gun was the one that invaded the Ark and killed Maria and stuff like that. So I feel like you could they could have done that storyline better of like maybe better. I don't know. So
that being said, if anyone says that Sonic gameplay is too stale nowadays, you can blame the criticism at Shadow for us not getting more variety.
I mean, same with 06, and we'll get to 06 in a minute. But still, and again, like Shadow's character. That's the problem with I think the writing of Shadow is so there's no canon route that you can really analyze, because if you try to piece together all the cutscenes together and try to figure out what the story is, it's gotta be really inconsistent. Like, and that's the idea, because dark path, hero path. But I think the problem we have with Shadow is because you have neutral path about him being a robot, which being of Shadow thinking he's a robot because they set that up in in Heroes. Then there's the bad but not as bad route, and then there's the bad. You're bad but not super bad, and then you're like evil bad, and then same thing with the good. And I feel like having like 10 endings before the true ending was a bad move. I felt like they should just have 3 routes, and that's it. The neutral, good, and dark.
It got a little messy. That being said, I'm gonna not put this one low because I don't think I can put it in A, but I'd love to put it in B.
Again, like overall as a game itself,
I remember I played a lot of it, and I
as a game itself, I don't hate the game itself really. Like when I was recording footage for upcoming video on the channel, I had no problem playing it. I just kind of went back and I had no problem playing it again. Because again, I think the problem with Shadow is I feel like they had many ideas on the board of how they want to do this game, and they just couldn't pick one finalized thing about it. And if the game was
do it all.
If the game had a lot more focus, I think it would have been stronger, even with the the writing, the dams and hells and
That's because
damn
I
this
think they
chaos.
were
I was like,
trying to
take.
get a T rating, and then the E10 plus rating existed right after.
Yeah, no, because I think they wanted to make a team, but I think they didn't want to see family see. Oh my God, Sonic is teen. Oh my God, so they make it
They did
E10.
do some. There is some censorship, like there is some like recuts.
There was a because the opening FNV, which fun fact if anybody watching, Jeff Fowler who directs the movies was a CGI director for Shadow's
Yep.
cutscenes.
Which is probably why we're getting what we're getting.
But because they're in the opening scene of the flash when Chaz had the flashback of running from Maria, there was actually a scene. There's some E3 when like I think E3. There's actually E3 had the uncensored version where you actually do see Maria get shot in the E3 cutscene, and that was taken out in the retail version.
By the way, that was some trauma as a kid. Like even the way they cut around it, it's just like, oh my God, what?
Yeah. So, but yeah, Shadow. I don't think it's horrible, but my it's more of how I think my problem with the game is more of the how Sega thinks this is Shadow's character, which is not. Which that's the thing, because the thing is about Shadow, the ending of Shadow, at least I like, is actually with the ending song.
Yeah.
Also, it's never turn back, and it's Shadow turning, and this is why going to 06, going to 6, which is I think Shadow's peak, is Shadow throwing all that past, the Maria, the Arc, all the Black Arc, that's throwing that out from the past. That is all in the past now, and he's just going forward to the future.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good ending. That's a good ending point for that era of Shadow.
I think someone described the game. Like the game is essentially like Shadow is like, as they said, like the different paths is Shadow dealing with the psychological trauma he's experienced and working through it because his mind is fractured.
Yeah, because him losing the memory from crashing down from SA2's ending. So before we go to, because I think next game would be Battle. Okay, I think Battle's released with Shadow, but I'll talk about why I think it's after Shadow. Yeah. So let's see, read the comics. Let's see. Wouldn't Maria count as being? Let's see. Not enough Linkin Park. 0 out of 10.
There was enough Crush 40 to make up for it.
This is the Dark Age of Sonic, which I'll get into when we get to 06. It's the emo era of the internet. It has ruined every character in the mid 2000s.
It's true.
Let's see, Don Devil. I gotta head off since it's already late here, Belgium. Oh damn. Gotta see enough of the seeing some of the live. I'll be watching the replay later. Have a good night, guys.
Again, if you're watching the replay later.
Yeah. Ryan Panagua, how's it going?
It's good. We're still ranking Sonic games, and so far no one has been like, "How dare you say that Shadow the Hedgehog deserves to be on this list?"
Yeah. Which is our Eternal, which is the SA2 tagline. Let's see. Are you doing Rivals 1 and 2 as one spot? Yes, we're doing Rivals 1 and 2 as one game. I mean, Rush and Advance are one as well. Yeah, it's pretty much fine for him. So Battle. I've
never played it.
So here's.
I've never played it.
So Battle is like kind of SA2 is gameplay. Okay, so gameplay wise, because pretty much Battle is a arena fighter on a Game Boy Advance.
It sounds like
pretty
a
nightmare.
Much.
It's okay. So it's not. It actually plays really well. It's more of the like you're playing in multiplayer with friends, or like CPU versus CPU and like the battle mode. It's actually pretty fun because they made sure the controls work on like. They make sure the controls are actually well tuned for the Game Boy Advance. Yeah. So, because the way how it works is you can cuss like a button, like you have your jump button, and then B, L, and R are your attack buttons. Like, so, and you usually begin the game by because the game has sort of RPG elements where you can pick attack. So, like you can give Sonic attack or a Sonic whirlwind attack and such like that. So, gameplay wise, the battle mechanic is not bad. But it's more of the story mode gameplay is the problem because it's a RPG. So with Battle's all about Emerald, the Gizoid, and pretty much the best way to describe Emerald for people for people who don't know, think like a Metabot, but for Sonic is the best way to describe Emerald.
Like a Metabot butler.
Pretty much. So Because the idea of because you're playing each character's story, and then you unlock more of their move sets, and you get to Emerald story, which I think is the last story, and or you play Emerald throughout the game. I forget. No, you play each character story, but there's moments when you play as Emerald. And the thing is, you can build and customize Emeralds how you like it. The problem is grindy. It is super grindy in terms of because there are some Emerald when starting out. He is slow. He barely gets some. He could his attack power is super low. It's a slog to get you to the beginning half of battle. And there are some missions in battle that are really stupidly difficult. Where you like, I remember there's a moment in Knuckles' story where you had to beat a bunch of Eggman bots under a time limit and survive also. And problem is, it's like 1v3 is the problem in there. So gameplay wise, the gameplay itself is not bad, but the story mode, I wish it was handled better. It is stupidly. It's one of those like kind of NES hard where the difficulty is higher to make the game feel longer. I feel.
Yeah.
But story is why battle to me is placed really high because the story is about the main key story point is Emerald. He has no memory, so it's kind of like it's how Emerald affects everybody else. Because he has no memory, so he's a blank slate. And the story of battle is pretty much seeing Emerald grow to be his own person. He starts out as a mute, barely talks, and over time interacting with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Rouge, and Cream, he grows to be his own being, and his development is some of the best I've seen in the franchise. You literally see Emerald grow as a character, like actually getting a character, and and you see how it affects the whole cast. How Sonic sees Emerald as a best friend. Shadow is super interesting because the reason why I think this game is after Battle because Shadow remembers everything. He remembers Maria, Gerald.
Oh, so yeah, he's got all those memories now.
So yeah, that's why he can't. That's why he can't take place after Heroes or anything like that. Yeah. So that's why he has to be at the Shadow is he remembers everything. So because there's this thing with Emerald where he's a Gerald. Okay, not Gerald creation, but Gerald found him in space because Chronicles reveal that the Gizzoids are our own race, were made by the Echidnas.
We'll get there in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, but the. So, a lot of Emerald's personality apparently something in the Japanese version of Battle where he apparently has some Maria's personality in there that was I need to read up again, but apparently it's something to do with Gerald implanting Maria's some Maria's like own characteristic into Emerald, and that's Shadow's connection. Shadow's own connection with Emerald is, he sees Maria in him, and plus it's one of Gerald's creations.
Yeah.
And such, and again, Amy's. I'm not too big on how they wrote Amy here because this was still during Amy's big, let me Sonic era, and thankfully they got better over time. But she viewed Emerald as a kid, her and Sonic's kid, and there was some fun moments there, but there was some really moments in the writing where they Amy almost exhausts herself trying to make her make herself more din and attracted to Sonic, and I didn't like that. But
that's awful.
Cream's interaction with Emerald, which is seeing just a good friend, and then the big tragedy of Battle's story at the end was Emerald's, because the Gizzoid Emerald's original program was to. I don't remember it was related to the Gerald's. I don't remember if really the Gerald's want to destroy Earth after Maria, or just his original programming to be a weapon. And the tragedy of Emerald sacrificing himself because the final boss is a fully powered Emerald, and not just a unique boss. It takes how you customize Emerald and make it the final boss. And I mean that could be that's kind of difficult also, but still. And the tragedy of there is everyone has to. Seeing Emerald sacrifice himself too, because after you defeat him, he gains a little of his consciousness memory back, and make sure the Eggman's base, because I think it was something about Eggman's base was falling to the city or something like that. From what I remember, it's been a while. But Emerald sacrificed himself to make sure everybody's safe and the city's safe. And you see everyone's reaction. And after Emerald dies, there's this great scene where the cast just reflects about Emerald and the hit, what they done with him in the past weeks. I'm assuming in battle, and that's why battle. My problem, like I said, the gameplay side, I feel battle story is one of the strongest in the series because it's like you literally
amazing considering it's an arena fighter.
Yeah, it's again, it's sort of made. I think the problem of battles or gameplay story wise is combining arena fighter with RPG elements. I didn't think it'll work, but the story itself is so strong, and Emerald as a character is honestly one of my favorite, which is why Advanced G gets more ups for me because I bring him back as Emerald, and again, I love how they're using him in IDW. So if I had to rank battle, it would be probably A or B. Again, gameplay wise, it gets really really frustrating, but the story really does carry it. So I'll let you decide. If I'm gonna be fair, I think B, because if you really do want to experience the story, you could just watch the YouTube playthroughs.
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with the frustration because that's the thing. Because if battle was on consoles, I think it would be higher.
It probably because the console power would have helped with the arena fighter part of it too.
Yeah. So yeah. So I do really recommend looking into Battle Story because again, I really think it's some of the strongest writing of the franchise. So next I think next will be. Because that's the thing, because now we're getting to the 50th anniversary era, so they had a lot of games, but I think the first one released during that era was Rush, I think. So how do you play any of the Rush games?
Rush is interesting. It's hard playing it because of where it was released.
Because it was a DS, DS. It was a DS launch. It was actually a DS launch title, the first game.
Yeah, has anyone ever tried to play a DS game emulated? Because it's a nightmare.
Yeah, that's the so Rush. Rush is one of those games where I want them to remake because it's so.
The DS and 3DS era was great, but my gosh, you talk about proprietary hardware.
Some games like RPGs and some games on trees are a lot better, but the thing with Rush, since it uses both screens, because they made sure because the DS has that hinge in between the two screens, so they made sure whenever Sonic Blaze transition to the bottom screen, they make sure it's not hurt your eyes.
Yeah, it doesn't run into the gap either. Yeah.
But play them with emulation where there is no gap, and that's
it's awkward.
Hurt your eyes. Yeah, it's awkward to hurt your eyes. I remember when I was recording gameplay footage for for an upcoming video, it actually hurt my eyes a little bit trying to keep track of Blaze. But still, how much have you played? How much have you played the Rush games?
Not a lot, but I got enough of an impression off of it. I don't have a story impression, but gameplay wise, I thought it was interesting with the way they use the two screens. It was definitely better than things like the DS version of Sonic Colors, for example.
Which is technically the unofficial Rush 3.
Yeah, I have that kind of same experience in a lot of ways. But I think that Rush has a lot of great ideas. I don't know if they're fully executed, but that's also because playing it without playing it on a DS changes the experience a lot.
That's why I want them to remake the game, on Switch and, for example, Switch and such, just to get
They should remake the game on Switch, but you have to hold your Switch portrait
vertically.
Yeah.
Your portrait.
There's good things and there's bad things, but
for Rush, for Rush, this introduces Blaze to the franchise, and she's a great character herself. She's she's kind of just the defrosting ice queen kind of trope character. But again, that's not bad. Again, I think her characterization is really great because with her, she's a protector of the Soul Emeralds, and she's kind of always been isolated by herself. Not just only because of her protection of being the guardian of the Soul Emeralds, but she has her fire powers, and she kind of views them as kind of a burden and doesn't want to be near people. So like that's why she's very antisocial in Rush until she meets Cream. Because with the Sonic story, it's your traditional Sonic fights Eggman, but with Rouge Blaze, you get that's since it's her debut game, you get the sense of her character, and she's a great game. Again, like she's again she develops for the game, trying to bring people into her life.
Yeah.
And it's really great to see, and her and it makes sense with because of rivalries in Rush 1 with her and Sonic. It's because again like she's a very like almost like Knuckles, she's a very stern person. She needs to get things done, especially because in the plot of Rush, since the Soul Emeralds are on Sonic's world, it's causing dimensional problems, and like by the near the end of the game, like the dimensions were like coming apart. So that's why she was so super focused on getting the Soul Emeralds back. So and then you get Sonic, who just super free, doesn't
they have a good
doesn't
parallel
think
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and that's why that's where their rivalry comes from. But after the boss fight, which you had to mash the button, my hand hurt when we were playing that on the DS. Yeah, the mash for that big giant headbutt. And they do they settle their differences and team up for the final boss, where you get
and is Rush 2 just
Sonic.
like more of the same in a lot of ways?
So Rush 2 is interesting. So Rush Adventure is interesting because it's a sequel to Rush, but they added more stuff gameplay wise, and I don't think it's bad, but I call it just kind of the game was like they felt is one because since Sonic Rush was Sonic and Blaze's story, and Rush Adventure don't get that, so they felt like since you don't have two stories, they need to I don't want to say pad, but they need to they want to make sure that, like the game has enough length like Sonic like the first game. So they have it's like you ever play Zelda Wind Waker?
Yep.
It's similar to that where they have boat riding sections.
Fun fact:
so
Zelda Wind Waker is the only Zelda game I've ever finished, and I finished it 4 times.
Well, because Wind Waker's great.
Oh wait, I finished Breath of the Wild, but that was out of spite because I hate that game. But anyway, that's a different tier list entirely, and we don't want to talk about my Zelda opinions because I have bad. I find myself getting bored with most Zelda games halfway in. But Wind Waker kept me engaged to the end, except for like the padding of the boat section, because my god.
Yeah, so pretty much instead of level by level, like in Rush 1, Adventure, you had to travel to island to island because each island is a level. Mm-hmm. It's like a level, and so you had to play a boat mini game and jet ski mini games. And I don't want to say grindy, but like if you want to get the Chaos Emeralds, you had to like find them in.
Oh, like the Dragon Balls in
pretty much like remember the Triforce quest. Remember the Triforce quests in Wind Waker? Yeah. It's like that, and definitely to smaller scale since it is a handheld. But like, there's a lot of like.
Tedious, though?
Yeah, it's more because pretty much because you need to find them. So, if it's one of the things where Rush Adventure, it's not. I don't think Rush Adventure is better or worse than Rush 1. Because it's more of like how you feel about the boat, the extra boat comp. But Rush Adventure feels like they added more RPG elements, and I think it works overall. But it feels like it's one of the things where it's like I think they didn't balance out the exploration with the Blaze and Sonic levels, and story wise, it's not super great. To be honest, it's like
so as a whole, how would you rank the two of them?
Rush, I say the Rush games are a good A, honestly, because I think bringing in Blaze and the gameplay overall is really great because if you playing on the original handheld and not emulated, they're a great time just boosting and doing tricks. It also has the best special stages because even as the high pipe, they're super easy because all you need to do is just move your stylus to where the rings are. So
moving forward, because I want to get kind of rolling here because we still got a lot to rank. We've been going. We've been going solid hour and 43 minutes, and we were not even halfway done. So I'm gonna start moving us along a little bit.
Thankfully, damn it, we haven't got to 06 yet.
What's next? What's next though?
So let's get Riders out of the way since
Riders. I love Riders. Okay, so I'll take point on this one. Sonic Riders So I legitimately like so again because I just got a GameCube. Sonic Riders was like right in my zone. I love the style of this game, like the opening credits
Oh, I love
animation,
Riders' art. Riders' art
amazing.
style, I think, is great.
And I love the Babylon Rogues. I think the trio of them make a good counterpart to Team Sonic. But
What I like, what I
their
like about
but
the
their thing is I love about them is the fact that they're they're rogues in a way, but they're not like bad guys. They're just like outlaws, and I think
no,
that makes
yeah,
them interesting.
that's what I like about the Babylon Rogues is they're not really complex characters at all. They're just greedy treasure hunters. They're
Mm-hmm.
just, but they're not evil. Like they're not evil. They just kind of dickish, and that's it. Like that's what I like about it. Like like when we get to Lost, I feel like when we get to Lost World, I don't feel like every Sonic character needs to be just very deep character. As long as I feel as long as they're entertaining, I don't mind. That's what I like about the Babylon Rogues is they're just they're pretty much a band of pirate thieves, just just stealing money because they're
Oh yeah,
greedy, and that's I think what works. They're just a good counter to Team Sonic.
and I
Um,
think also when you go to Zero Gravity is most of the same, but with motion controls in a lot of ways.
yeah. And one thing I like about Rice is again, lore, the whole Babylonian race. I
Mm-hmm.
do like that lore. Lore, more lore, and I like how that's what I like about Babylon. Even though they have this great lore about the ancient Babylonians, they don't care.
Yeah.
They're just which I always find interesting. But very interesting with the movie verse because. Unless you heard, but the owl race might be related to the Babylon Rogues because the Babylonians because the
Oh
writing
yeah.
the writing you see in the cave for the compass, the writing on there, that's the same writing as the ancient Babylonian
Mm-hmm.
writing.
But
So
yeah,
I'm
I
not.
mean, like, so Zero Gravity is kind of like more of the same, but motion controlled. And
I
then
know.
we don't want to talk
I know.
about free riders.
So I know a lot of people don't like Zero Gravity as much as Riders One, but
I find them to be
I
about
think
the same, to be honest.
same. So for me, with Riders One and Two, I always they're like the games because the thing with Rise that I think a lot of people need to know going into they're the first game has a steep learning complex to it.
Oh
Like
yeah, definitely. Like it
if
takes a
you
while for you
real
to get used to it. It's not like a Mario Kart where you can pick up and go.
yeah, so like it's one of the things with Riders like if you want to
Especially with
play the
the
Rider
air
game,
gauge. The air gauge is the hardest thing to figure out initially.
yeah. So if you anyone who wants to play Riders, at least you really need to learn how the mechanics work
Yeah, give
because
yourself
if you
time to
don't.
learn it, and you'll have a good time.
Yeah, because tell you now, when you see my gameplay footage of Riders, I just get last place for most of it because it's been so long since I
Hmm.
played Riders, I just forget all the mechanics.
So I'd
And
say as a trio, I'm just gonna ignore free riders because it was a
because Free
dumb Connect
Riders,
game. But in
eh,
terms of
eh,
riders and Zero Gravity, I'd probably put these in an A just because they are solid racing games and they are difficult. But it's much like F Zero. Once you learn how to play it, it's great.
oh, I love the futuristic aesthetic of the Riders
Hmm.
games. That's like some of my favorite things. We can also get these out of the way, even though they come after those six. Just get them out of the way. The rival games. Have you ever played the Rivals
I
games?
haven't. I downloaded an emulation for them, but I've just never touched them.
They're not good. They're like the only. I think one of the few signs I legitimately just don't like.
Should we just toss them in the D
Uh,
tier and move on?
yes,
I mean,
because
like, why aren't they good? Like, if you could sum it up in like 2 sentences.
first off, stories are nothing. Silver, like, so if you want to get technical, this is Silver's canon debut in terms of the new timeline
Hmm.
after '06. And they don't like like they had to be canon, but Silver's personality does not match up with the modern take. So
Right.
like it just has to be his cat. These games have to be canon because it's the only way the Silver can make sense. Everyone knowing Silver by later games, but so they're racing games, sort of, but not like sort. It's more of like it's like the Tales levels in Adventure One, where it's you race, yeah, from
Okay.
you
Yeah.
had to beat your opponent to the end, and the biggest their level designs stink. they're like they're not great level designs. The controls
What
are
were they
kind of
on
meh.
PSP?
Yeah, PSP.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I totally missed them because I never had a PSP.
And and just they don't. They're just boring. I think that's my problem with the rivals games. They don't. they're boring. They don't really have identity compared to other games in the franchise. They really just, because compared to Riders, it just there's nothing anything about them to make them special. They try to do this weird card gimmick with the games, where it's like the plot of the first game is that Eggman Nega. Well, this goes into the weird continuity issue because in the Rush established Eggman Nega as Eggman's counterpart in the Soul Dimension with Blaze, but Rivals makes Eggman Nega's Eggman Descendant in Descendants, so that's like what?
Yeah.
And again, Rivals has to be canon because that's the only way you can figure out Silver's, like how the people know Silver by later games.
Mm-hmm.
So they're D. I don't recommend them. Like even as I'm a big like Silver's my favorite character, and even as Silver fan, he's not great because he's like a weird time cop in Rivals, and again that doesn't really match up with both his. That doesn't really match up with his characterization in 06 and his later characterization in later games. So,
All right, what next?
All right. Let's just get Chronicles. I want to get.
I heard that Chronicles was a disaster on many levels.
So Chronicles,
I've yet to touch it out of fear.
So Chronicles as a game is bad. it's Sonic RPG I think is a great idea. Like the Mario RPGs, and Sonic has such a big cast that you can make a great RPG.
Wasn't this made by some like famous video?
BioWare. Yeah.
What was BioWare doing with making a Sonic game?
It was our B team. Okay, so that's the frustrating thing about this game. You can tell the people who wrote the game love the franchise because again they brought in so many elements, like Shadow's characterization as on his point actually matches those 06 characterization with Team. They brought in back the gun commander, giving in the main commander tower. They brought back the ancient they brought back the Kingdoms where they went after. At least this subdivision of the Kingdoms and two.
So basically, the story had a lot of good stuff to it.
There's a lot, like the story itself is not super amazing, but like it has a lot of good beats. But the game music is horrible. Graphics are horrendous. The models are like you don't want to look at the models.
Is it a D tier?
It's a D tier. It's a bad game. Bad game. There's aspects I like, but it's a bad game. It's not good. It's
now do we have to deal with Sonic 06?
All right, 06. So okay, I guess this is my hot take.
Here's your hot take time. I had my Shadow love.
So
I'm putting on a 5-minute clock on this one, so we can move forward.
06, I feel if it was not rushed for the 15th anniversary, could have been a great game next to SA2 and S, because you say Shadow was SA is Adventure Tree, but I view 06 as Adventure Tree with the whole character selection and story. So gameplay wise, it's not bad really. Like you bring up glitches, but I notice a lot of times the glitches are them fighting the glitches. Level design is actually really good. I've heard
that some copies are glitched and some aren't.
Level design honestly is really great. Like honestly, Silver's gameplay I really enjoy.
I've never played the game, but I played what was the first? It was the first Sonic level.
Wave Ocean.
Yeah, I played that before. That was
the level design is not bad, and for me, the story, if it had a few more revisions, I think it's one of the best stories in the series. And here's the thing, because again, I talk about how maturity of the franchise. Again, this was the 15th anniversary, so again, like people played like SA1 and 2 has now grown up, and I feel, especially compared to Shadow, I feel this 06 tone is honestly, I think the maturity, the best maturity of the franchise in terms of like the next level evolution from the adventure games. Shadow is his best. This is his best incarnation. Like this is his peak. Because they really went into his family dynamic with Team Dark, and especially Mephiles is one of the best villains in the franchise, and his relationship with Shadow was
I think of Mephiles, I just keep thinking of the Ultraman Kaiji.
I know, Mephiles, is such a great villain for Shadow and Silver, and I guess Sonic, but like especially because Mephiles thing is telling Shadow like why keep fighting for the people who fear you, because people fear Shadow because of how much power he is. And his quote at his end of his story will always be one of my favorite quotes in the franchise. Like, I shape my own destiny. I shape my own destiny. For him. It's not exact, but like
But what
still.
about the
And
human
at
hedgehog
least
interspecies relationship?
okay, so I get where they're going with that, because the idea of Elise is she is a shelter child that is protected because her father died, and since she's a princess, they make sure she doesn't go outside and such. And the idea of it is Sonic, since it was whole free, feel free attitude and and such, it is a huge positive impact to her life.
Mm.
So I get the idea of it. I don't think it was executed good, but I get the idea of what they're going for.
What about
It.
the fact that the game instantly retcons itself? Like it changes
That's
time to where basically it didn't happen.
I don't like that, because that takes away a lot
Because
of the
basically you could
development.
never play the game and it wouldn't change your life.
Yeah, well, I should say, like, again, like I don't think I will say that, because again, Shadow development Shadow's getting character is great, which again why I hate the retcon the
Mm-hmm.
game. And Silver is one of my favorite characters in the franchise, because how he's someone who's from a bad future but has a lot
Yep.
of
Because he's like
optimism.
the Trunks.
I won't say he's the Trunks, because with Trunks he had Bulma, he had the Gohan, he has a lot of Silver literally just only had Blaze, and then
Mm.
he lost her at the end of the game. Silver is he is this naive child that doesn't know what really is right or wrong. He just only feels what right. Like people criticize him for wanting to try to kill Sonic, but his question of like, is it right to kill someone to save the future, is I think is a really good line, because he doesn't know. Like, he is all his life he probably just only knows the whole destruction of
Mm.
this world and destruction with Iblis, and his whole thing, his whole character, and which is why I'm glad IEW and Ian Force's team is just, and he's this optimistic child that doesn't know much about the past or the future, but he wants to save it, because he's that hopeful, and that's why he's my favorite character in the series, and why I think so many people just give him a bad rap just because he's from '06 and they don't like his boss
So
fights.
that being said, where do you actually rank
So
'06?
'06 base game alone is a B, because unless there's still the load times, the actual glitches, some not great design.
Mm.
Now, if I would recommend anything, because there's this really great fan project of called Project '06 that is pretty much trying to finish the game pretty much, because there's a lot of things cut from the
Yeah,
game.
like because it was
So
rushed and everything was
Rush.
all
So
messed up.
they're trying to so they're doing they done Sonic and Shadows levels. They're working on still right now. If you want to play, honestly, the one of the best Sonic games I ever played, download the Project '06, Project '06. It's the fan made recreation of '06 in Unity, and it controls beautifully. They add so many quality of life upgrades to the game.
Mm. Do they
Again,
fix Eggman's weird ass design? Because that still
no,
bothers me.
again, that's the thing with that's the thing that's the thing I was saying. Like, they don't, they just fix the game, just make sure the game works. They don't change anything, which I respect. They could easily,
Mm.
change the Eggman design, but no, like, they want to make '06 what it was meant to be,
Yeah.
than what it's supposed to be. And so, '06, I don't believe in guilty pleasures, but I do think '06 gets too much of a bad rap, and sadly, that bad rap has lead to a lot of the problems of the modern stuff now. Because again,
Yeah,
if
that's
I
basically where everyone just hates Sonic games before they exist.
yeah. So I feel like if '06 got its development time, I think it literally could have been like the best game of the series if it got
But
development time
as
and
it
made some
is,
strides.
where does
As
it
it
go?
is, it's a again B,
B. All right.
B, because again, I there's so much potential, and the game has potential, but the original product
That's how
itself
I feel about
has
Shadow.
those.
I'm like, I wish it had things better.
Yeah. All right.
Moving
So
along.
next would be Secret Rings. I don't like Secret Rings. It's just a gameplay. I don't.
I like the premise, but I can
I
instantly put this in a D tier and not look back.
Yeah, because I like I like the premise. I liked a lot of the story. The ending, I think, is one of the best
It's just
endings.
that
It's
that weird tilty gameplay
that
motion.
right, yeah. The controls is why is the
God,
I
the
can't.
Wii era of video games, like anything else on the Wii, you had a crapshoot of this is going to be great, and the motion controls will add to the experience, or you're going to wish that motion controls were never invented. There really is no middle
Uh,
ground.
wait. So I'm gonna read the comments for go to the next stuff. So
What's this about a
uh,
lawsuit?
s- talking about Ken Penders.
That dude, yeah, he's hilarious because he's a dumbass. Anyways,
Yeah, so let's see. So have you guys played any Sonic fan games? I have. I played several fan games. I played again Project 06, which is technically a fan game. I played this really cool this is really nice, cool Sonic fan game called Sonic Smackdown, which is pretty much making a Sonic fighting game in fighting game as a traditional
there
2D
was
fighter.
a fan game that tried to reorganize Sonic 3 and Knuckles into its original level order.
Oh, Sonic 3
Yeah,
Complete.
I played that one. I don't have enough time to play video games to also be playing fan games, but like I appreciate all the work everyone does there.
Let's see. Sonic loves tiny tacos from Jack in the Box.
Now I want tacos.
I just wish to see rivals are tier for me. Oh, interesting. Okay. Silver is the Jungle Team Sonic. Again, I disagree on that one. Let's see what else was like. We tried to do Trunks, but you did T2, but bad. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
destroyed
so
future
Black
stuff.
Knight.
Let's what's next? Black Knight.
Black Knight. I love Black Knight.
I think
Black
Black Knight is a triumph of a game, and I don't know why it has the reputation it does.
Black Knight. Again, to keep it simple, Black Knight has the best writing. That is the peak of the
The
writing of
Arthurian Legends is always a great place to start with writing, and they take it to a great level here.
Sonic's characterization is his because the thing with Sonic, he's a flat character, and what I mean by flat character, he's a character that doesn't grow himself but affects everybody else, and that was literally Black Knight. But one thing about Sonic is he's not just Mister. He's not like Mario, who's just Mister Good Guy. No, he's arrogant, he's rude, he gets in arguments, and he's cocky. And I think Black Knight shows the best.
Yep,
And
and the way that
yeah,
he argues with his sword, and
yeah, Caliburn,
yeah,
the Caliburn Sonic's dynamics is so great, and the message of the game, the fear of death, I think is a really positive message of just live free. Don't worry about, don't worry about just
not to
don't
mention
live.
music is kick ass.
Yeah, and
Sonic turns into Garo at one point. It's
yeah, yeah, it's
there is
kind of
some
nice.
amazingly over the top great stuff. The gameplay is actually fun because of the whole Wii remote swinging like a sword.
Yeah, people really oversat because people think they just need to do this. No, he doesn't need to do like swipe.
Yeah,
Like you don't need to
you don't have to
shake your
shake it that
wrist.
much. It actually, I think it works. Like if you're doing an on rails sort of game where you're doing Wii remote motions, I prefer this to whatever the hell Secret Rings was trying to do. And
Yeah, and
yeah,
the mission combat's great. Also, this sadly it's the last game where you can play as Shadow, Knuckles, and Blaze
hmm
outside of like racing spin-off
I'm
games.
putting it in A.
Um,
I'm not stepping down from that. It's going in
I
A.
would say, I would say yes, but I think A is a good
It's
place.
going A. Because I think it can't go to S just because the Wii motion controls, as good as they are and how they're better implemented, are still Wii motion controls.
Yeah, yeah. So next, Sonic 4 D. I don't like Sonic
I
4.
have been trying to play this game for years, but it's a nightmare. Especially now that Sonic Mania exists, what the hell do we even need this for?
It's unfinished because they never made episode 3,
Mm-hmm.
and the problem with Sonic 4, it was just retreads. It was
It
just,
was
even though
retreads with bad physics because he does not play like
like classic
classic
Sonic.
Sonic. Yeah.
It's taking the boost engine. It's taking the boost engine from Rush, but removing the boost and the level design,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't work. And it's unfinished. And, episode 2 was better, but still,
Better than a piece of trash is still a piece of trash.
if there's any Sonic game I say there's no merit into checking out at Sonic 4. There is
No,
literally
there's no
no
point.
merit.
If you want more classic style Sonic, Mania.
Mania. So next, Sonic Colors.
I thought Unleashed first.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Unleashed. So yeah,
Be Still My Heart. I love Unleashed. I'm
yeah.
also a nut. Okay, like here's the thing: having Sonic slow down and go into like a brawler mode with crazy jazz music is not up everybody's alley. In fact, it probably completely betrays the franchise's gameplay mechanics in a lot of ways. Me, I love werewolves. I love jazz music. I'm okay with this. I shouldn't be
No,
okay with this, but I am.
yeah, I love Unleash. Well, I feel like the dates, just generations has perfected the daytime levels. I do really like the daytime levels in Unleash, and again, I do think the Warthog gets a bad rap a lot of times
It depends on
because
which version you played too, because there was 2 different versions running
the Wii,
around.
yeah, there's the Wii version, and
The
then there's
Wii
the
slash
HD.
PS2 version and then the PS3 Xbox One are different games. And if you only played like the Wii PS2 one, you've not experienced the game.
Yeah, because the one thing about Unleash I love is, like I mentioned, it take it lets you be in this world of
Whereas on the Wii
all the
version, they let you be in a bunch of still
tech
scenes and
boxes.
menus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you can literally explore all these countries they're going to, interact with all these people, and brings in the best character, Professor Pickles.
Not to mention the cuts. Some of the animated cutscenes are
The CG,
incredible.
The Marza cutscenes are
Mm.
fantastic. And again, story wise, yeah, like Black Knight's one of the peak because, well, I kind of prefer Black Knight Sonic, but Unleashed Sonic is not bad rewritten at all. They really play up the chill aspect of Sonic and Unleashed, which I really like.
I
I
will
love.
say I'm gonna put Unleashed above Black Knight because the controls on the PlayStation and Xbox version is
Oh no,
tight,
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think Unleashed,
and that's why it's going in S.
uh, I prefer Black Knight's story, but if
Yeah,
I had to choose gameplay, I would choose Unleashed. Again, I think the Warhog gets so much bad rap because it's not like he plays bad. He just,
it's just different.
it's just
Yeah,
different. And a lot of people say like, you could just replace him with Knuckles, and and some of you go like, why play this could have been Knuckles? I must, just because you're switching on Knuckles doesn't mean the gameplay is different. It just
exactly.
a
And also
different
with the whole
skin.
stretchy arm thing, it feels different than a Knuckles.
Also, thank you, Tails2, for killing the two world theory, and just saying that no, the humans just live over there, and all the
It's a
animals
big
live
planet.
over here.
Everyone's all over
Yeah.
here. Yeah, no, that's great stuff. Uh,
So Sonic Colors.
Colors. Can I talk about how much I love colors?
No, I love colors. I love colors.
The amount of love that I have outpouring for Sonic Colors will eclipse the moon. Colors
Yeah.
is not groundbreaking in storytelling
No.
in any way.
I think people are really harsh on color stories, especially now. Like I remember
Yeah, I
back then, a
mean,
lot of people were fine with it, but now, like, look, yeah, I refer to the adventure era storytelling, but like, I don't think colors is bad. It's just fun. There's
Eggman
not
makes a
every
theme
song.
park in space, and Sonic is like, "This could be bad." Oh, look, it's bad. Like it's like the epitome of Sonic Eggman conflicts. There's a lot of great elements to it.
I love the Whisk. I feel the
Wisp
Whisk
are
gets too much.
fun.
The Whisk gets. I think people problem the Whisk more of just how much they use
Mm.
them. I don't mind them because they're just now part of Sonic's world. Like you hate the Whisk, then what happened to Chow? Because
They're
they're
basically the
just
same, except Chow's never gave you the ability to turn into a
power.
drill.
So I love the
For me
Whisk.
with colors, I think that great variety in level design. There is some like BS parts of it where it's like, why is this designed this way? But for the most part, I mean, Ultimate Sonic Colors Ultimate has a lot of problems.
Well, it depends on the version because the
Depends on the
Switch
version you
version.
get, because I have it
Because
on Switch and PlayStation. Those are different experiences.
I played the PC version. I had no problem. I played it
Mm.
2 times the same. I did 2 complete runs the same day. Never ran into any issues.
I've had much better luck playing the PS4 version on a PS5 than I have playing the Switch version. So,
Yeah, I know the Switch version is a nightmare. I think it's better now, but like, yeah, no,
in
I still
terms of Sonic Colors going back to the Wii days, this is absolutely my favorite Sonic game. In like, there's nothing since this that has topped it for me. I don't think.
colors to me is the ultimate relaxed game. Like I can just chuck that on and just
Yeah,
play it.
it's a
Like
blast,
it's
and I enjoy it, and I'm gonna put it in the S tier. I'm sorry,
yeah,
we're
I
putting
know.
so much in the S tier. We haven't put hardly anything in C, but just give it a minute.
I guess because I guess it's just this discussion. How do you? Because this is covers the first of the voice cast switching. So which voice cast do you prefer for the game versus Sonic's? Because we have the Dreamcast era, then the New York cast, and now the LA cast with colors
I'll be
onwards.
honest, I really don't have any strong feelings in any direction.
Yeah, no,
It's just
I
each era has its own set of voices. while also having its own set of gameplay styles and looks. So it just kind of naturally just changes.
Yeah. There's certain, I prefer certain takes on certain characters, but overall, I don't mind the different voice takes because, again, these, they have, like, it's just, again, the way how the games are written now, like, it just, I think it fits with the new cast, but that's because, just
I'm
because
used to it now. But yeah, no, it's just.
So next, Sonic Generations.
Generations could be an almost perfect game if it wasn't for one thing.
Final boss.
Final boss.
Yeah, to me, I love Sonic Generations a lot. That's again another game I play a lot.
Talk about how to do an anniversary game. It's right there.
My only little, besides the final boss, of course, the only problem I have with Generations, I feel like the story could be more because I feel like
there's no story. It's just
there's literally no story. Which for
these two Sonics now exist in the same space, and you're gonna get to play through all the iconic stages, the past games in modern and classic styles. Have fun, and I enjoy that. But the story is nothing.
Yeah, I guess because they really could at least have more stuff to clear out. Because I still don't know the Shadow boss fight, is that supposed to be SA2 Shadow or current Shadow? Like Silver, that's current Silver.
This is why it's going in the A tier and not the S, but it's still.
And because the final boss is awful.
The final boss is terrible. The story is non-existent. But I really enjoy Generations. Their Escape from the City remixes, for the City Escape levels. Fantastic stuff.
I do say though, I think another reason why I think Generations is probably A for me also is I never go back to classic Sonic in Generations. I always go play modern. So if I'm only going back to play one half of the game, I think that's problem. Cause it's not like classic Sonic is bad,
it's
but
just
like
frustrating.
Because because both the physics are not exact to the Genesis games, but also just. Sonic, modern Sonic's load are just that better.
What do we got next?
Lost World. So
can I put one in C?
So I guess we're gonna get I feel like there's only difference. That's gonna be different because Lost World to me, it's nothing special, but I enjoy the game.
I like the Deadly Six. I like the story. I hate the run button.
So the run button, so here's the thing: level design and platforming I really like in Lost World. So the level design is actually
the problem I have with it is Assassin's Creed meets Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, that I never got. I can never figure out the parkour.
It's all this geometric shapes like Galaxy, but it's got this parkour physics like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, because I never got a hang of the parkour. Lost World.
I don't think you can. I think it's too clunky and too just unnatural.
Lost World to me, like I feel like if it had like in terms of Sonic, you remove the run button, Sonic's movements I think is great. Like if they ever make an adventure remake or like if they make another like adventure style game, I think the Lost World Sonic how it controls run button aside is great. I think I actually really like the lock on feature where it's like you keep if you had the lock on because there's the basic lock on and there's the max lock on where you do more damage. I actually like that gameplay mechanic. And the Deadly Six, I think they get a little too much hate, mostly because they're a very one note villain. Well, I will always defend Zavok to be honest, because I think Zavok uniqueness is he's a brute character, but he's cutting actually cutting. I think
there's some good stuff with him in Forces in the comics. So
but like the reason why I don't mind the Deadly Six because again there's more rogues because besides Eggman. What are the Sonic villains out there that aren't dead? Dead, and that's why I don't mind. It's like we need more villains outside of Eggman, and so it's nice to have this, we just have these other 6 villains just around to Sonic to fight with. And my only problem with Lost World is there's no context given to the Deadly Six and the Lost X. At all. Like
it just drops you in and go for it.
Wait, how did Eggman discover the concept that controlled the Zeti? Why is Lost X called the Lost X? What are the Zeti? That's my problem with Lost World's story is there's no
and that's why Lost World is in the C tier.
Like if I my own personal ranking, I'll probably put it B, but I understand C. Like I understand C.
Run button, weird story things. C.
And so and next is all right, Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. D, I hate this game.
I love this show. I hate this game. Why was it so bad?
So because it's I'm not sure you ever heard the development story of
Oh, I have, and I
Boom
feel like
of
we do not have enough time to go into it now.
time. I just feel bad. I mean, Big Red Button
They had
has
ideas.
gone. Big Red Button has
Yep.
gone to make more stuff after Boom, which is
They
great.
had
But
ideas. They didn't
man,
have the time or money to do it.
yeah, Sega and plus our permission because Sega was very control.
Mm-hmm.
It's really the opposite of the movies where Sega lets the movie team do whatever they want. Remember with Boom, like Sega was super controlling with Boom. But with Rise of Lyric, it was the first like with the other D rank games, I feel like I could still take some positive things out of it. Boom, Rise of Lyric literally was miserable to play. I played it recently, like I played it the first time last year, and I was going into thinking like, oh, it's not gonna be as bad as you make. No, it was
It's so
boring and
bad because I
snow.
think it gave the show a negative reputation.
No, it
And
did.
it's
Like,
unfortunate because that is the best Sonic show we've ever gotten.
yeah, and like, cause man, God, like the music is nothing. It's so slow. It's stupidly long. It's like 8 hours long, and just overall,
Yeah.
just it
Let's move
just
on. What's the other Sonic Boom game? Fire and Ice? Is that any better?
Fire Night. No, Fire Night. So I didn't include Shattered Crystal in this because it was
Yeah.
didn't feel it
It's the
didn't
same.
was
It's the
not
same.
interesting.
They're just.
But Fire and Ice, to be honest, it's probably my favorite handheld Sonic game because the problem with Shattered Crystal was they're trying to do a Metroidvania with Sonic and it didn't work. Like try combine the search action of Metroid and Castlevania with Sonic does not merge at all.
Mm.
Fire Nights went back to basic run, stages. But what's great about Fire and Ice is they still kept the exploration, but it's like Sonic 3 and Knuckles exploration, where it's multiple paths to get to the end of the level. And the Fire and Ice gimmick, it's not like a big like the only thing it does is just certain puzzle, it's just puzzles where you need to use the fire to melt some ice, or
So
need some
the
ice to.
question is, where does it rank? Because
Honestly,
is
I
it that
think
good?
yeah, it's a fun game. It's like I play again. First, I played it last year, and I was shocked how just it's so fun to play. Like it didn't again just it's like out of all the 3DS Sonic games, it's the best one.
Mm.
It's just a fun, again, it has the exploration of Sonic 3 with the speed of like the Advance and Rush games and multiple playable characters like the Advance games because you can switch on the fly to the main Sonic team, and they all have different play styles. There's certain extra goodies like you can go off and get extra collectibles if you want to with certain characters. Like Knuckles has his own segments. Tails has his own segment. Sticks has her own segment. It is a really, really great game. It's on, and I mean, hell is that they actually delayed the game. It was like one of the few
Yeah, I
Sonic games
remember
they
that
actually
one.
delayed.
That one came out, and I had no idea it actually came out because it happened so late after.
Yeah, and what helps is by the time this game came out, the show was out,
Mm.
so the game was more like the show. So the writing's about pretty on par
Cool.
with. But still, yeah, Fire Dice. I really recommend the game if you ever get the chance to play it. So Mania.
S tier. I love Mania.
Yeah, Mania's great.
I
Um,
I mean, I think a lot of people have said that like Mania is the best Sonic game of recent years.
the only thing I don't like from Mania is the special stages.
Yeah,
I don't like the special stages
I
in
like when they
Mania.
let us play Blue Spears.
Yeah, like because my problem with Mania special stages is the controls are bad. They like I get the idea, you go faster and your go faster is a little more trickier to control, but
I've
like
never gotten a single Chaos Emerald in Mania.
I had to cheat to get the true
But like,
ending.
yeah, and then you get the plus, and you get like Mighty and Ray, and you get all this extra
Right.
stuff. It's hey, look, you had fans make basically a Sonic fan game, but it was official and it's real and it's awesome.
Yeah, so Mania's great. So Sonic Forces, the game that
I struggle
Sonic
with this.
Forces. So Forces is the game I think personally I think people really over dramatize how bad
Let
it
me sum
is.
up Sonic Forces. It is possibly too easy, possibly too short, and the create a character function is essentially useless. but it's still fine. Like, it's not
It
terrible.
is. No, like I really think people really over
Really
dramatize
do. It's
forces.
not that bad. I think it was probably a little overpriced for how little, like, how short it is. And I think it's probably too easy because you could fly through that game, which makes it feel shorter too. Like, there's a ton of levels, but you can get through a bunch of them really fast.
Also, Cosmic Sonic was really bad.
Yep, Sonic's really bad. Episode Shadow was fun though.
So, Forces in terms of story, I don't mind. The only thing I really don't like is Tails, just how Tails are written in Forces.
Yeah.
He was like, I get what they're going for of Tails feeling like he failed helping Sonic, but like I just think they didn't handle it well.
And Infinite's
Like
story was a little
Infinite, like you think Infinite, I don't mind actually at all as a villain. I just wish his backstory was
Yeah.
better. Because I think as a villain, he actually works really well as like
Oh,
a
totally.
good like foil with such with the Phantom Ruby and such. And why I'm sad that they confirm he's dead with the Psychospeedica, we're just like, damn it, he's never coming to IDW, so he's not gonna, he couldn't get better writing.
I will say that
Um,
the create a character thing was fun, but there was no point to it because the majority of the levels you still play as Sonic.
my problem with the thing with the creative avatar character is I don't like you cannot have all the wisp puns all at once.
Yeah.
You had to go back and switch because I feel like if they could have like have like a Ratchet and Clank just select what wisp pun you want, I think they could make the levels work. I also don't think the boost gameplay fits the avatar characters at all because the main idea of the avatar gameplay is combat and in the boost formula hallway style does not fit that combat style gameplay
Yeah.
of the Avatar, which is what like because I would love to see the Avatar gameplay be used again, mostly with Whisper, since she is pretty much meant to be the Avatar character with the Wisp her own Wisp. So like that's what I like to see it come back with. But no, like really, Forces is the most all right game that people really, really
They overhate it.
dramatize
Should we put it in C
because
though?
yeah, it's a C.
Yeah.
It's again, it's not bad, but it's not like it's one of the
It's
things
not
where like
great either.
because there's many things that I see in Forces that they want to please the fans because it has a more serious story again. They brought back a lot of the cast back
It's kind of
and
almost a finale to the
the
modern
boost era.
story.
Yeah, because IW spawned for that, and like I will always my dying argument will always be IW's canon unless something in the games was making
And I think
non-canon.
that Frontiers might be a new timeline.
Well, at least Frontiers is meant to be another fresh start, like Colors was.
I don't know if it's gonna pick up on anything or if it's just gonna be like, hey, it's like essentially a reboot, and then it's like, oh hey, it's its own timeline. But I guess we'll see what happens. That final battle with everybody in it though was like really cool.
That's the thing. Like Forces, I appreciate what they were trying to do with it. Like the war, I know a lot of people make fun of the war storyline, but I think it works. It just I wish it was written better. And again, IW takes that concept and make it better a lot with the Metal Virus and Metal Sonic arcs. And it's just like things where it's like like Chaos Zero being there but no boss fight, then what's the point? Such like that. It's like one of the things I wish it was if it was longer and had a lot more depth like 06 or Adventure, then I could really think Forces could have been really good. But overall, it's a very mid game.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate what it tried to do, but I just think I'm not sure it was time or not. Like I feel time or not, but
So how much Sonic Racing have you played? Because I played all of them.
All three.
I played them
I play all of them.
extensively.
I really love the racing games.
My favorite's Transformed.
No, Transform is the best. I think people hate on Team Sonic Racing weirdly too much. I'm not sure what was because the problem with Team Sonic Racing, I think
Sonic
the problem
Heroes
was
if it was a racing game.
the problem with Team Sonic Racing. I think why it gets so much hate or at least like cynicism is because it came out at the same time as Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, and also there was no support after the game launch, which is baffling because
like what 12 characters.
12 characters. And because we got Team Sonic, Team Dark, Team Vector, which is again, they took Vector from the Chaotix and just made them Silver and Blazes.
There's Team Eggman.
Hangman and Team Rose, which I'll forever question. Like they won't let Cream the child drive, but they let physical babies drive a car.
Three chows, yeah.
Chows, right? I was like, what? But yeah, like I find baffling they never did more support after the game. But the game itself, it's fun.
I like the team mechanic, and I think with all three of them, it's not just Mario Kart but Sega. They're actually like legitimate, like they're not kart racers, they're car racers, which is a different type
that's
of
the thing.
racing.
I always don't like when people put Mario Kart as the pedestal. Yeah, it was, it would kick off the genre, but like
Mario
I don't want
Kart is a kart racer. There is like, and this is the thing that's everyone's like racing games. I'm like, yeah, it's just like shooters. You don't compare FPSs to third person because they're different.
You have like Ratchet and Clank is not the same as Call of Duty.
Exactly. But yet people want to compare Team Sonic Racing, F-Zero, Forza, and Mario Kart when it's like Mario Kart's a kart racer. That's a party game style. Forza's a more hardcore racer. Sonic Racing is more in the Forza space than the Mario Kart space.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Honestly, why I played a little bit to get gameplay footage and also just play for fun. I love the speed of Team Sonic Racing. Mm-hmm. That game has some speed and like it's actually really challenging. Yeah, like also the challenge the challenge actually was really nice because that's like kind of like F-Zero.
Not to mention the fact that you could still lose a race if you're not like supporting your teammates at all.
Yeah, I think Team Sonic Racing and overall just the Sonic Racing games are really great. Like Transform has the advantage of having the boat and plane sections. That's why it's a little bit.
Because the thing is, in Mario Kart, when they're like, oh, like Mario Kart 8, it's like, oh, hey, you're anti-grav. It's like, okay, cool. It's like slightly floatier and you can spin. And it's like, oh, it's a hang glider. And it's like, yeah, for like 3 seconds. But like with Sonic Racing Transformed, you have extensive sections of the track where you're piloting a boat instead or a plane instead. And that's really freaking cool and interesting.
Yeah, I'm not too.
I wasn't too bothered. It says, from what I've noticed, a lot of people who say kart racers and car racers are the same haven't played enough car racers. Exactly the problem.
I would say I wasn't too disappointed of Team Sonic Racing not being a Sega crossover, because that's the because I feel like
Sonic's got enough characters, he can have his own roster.
And also because I think the reason why I don't want because of the state of Sega now versus then, because when Sega All-Star Radio came out, like it was just really Sonic only, and Sega like figured out other games, but like Team Sonic Racing came out, like no, Sega is big again. Like they have Yakuza, Donkey Chronicles, Puyo Puyo, all the Atlas stuff since they bought them.
And they don't need to sign a deal with Danica Patrick to make a racing game.
Yeah, so I feel like Sega didn't felt like they need to make another Sega crossover game to help support the other Sega franchises, because the other Sega franchises are back again and now more healthier now. So they didn't need to throw Kiryu Kazuma into Sonic game to get Yakuza more powerful. No, because Yakuza was already doing Bangbusters already. So I mean that just shows the more healthier state of Sega now versus back then.
So the question for the racing games becomes: is it A or S?
Honestly, S, because they're just fun. I enjoy playing them.
They're really solid car racers. That's the short answer.
So yeah, that's our rankings. Honestly, I think there's only a few that I think we disagree on. Even not that much
either, because I think like some of the ones like I don't know where I'd rank Sonic 06 because I've never played it enough to rank it. But yeah, I mean honestly, like, and this is the thing, it's like Sonic games, as we can see, range in quality, just like any franchise that's run this long. But, I think a lot of them, a lot of what we ranked is there's more good than bad, for sure.
Yeah, that's whole Sonic was never good comment. Yeah, that's not
true. Like the thing is I will legitimately say there's a bunch of 3D Sonic games that are better than Sonic 1. And if you think different, you're nostalgia blind.
Yeah, even then, how old I had to be, yeah, I just get really, I think that's one thing you could take away from this stream is we both fucking love Sonic.
Yep.
We have like our passion for this franchise is huge and such a and because it's not even just game quality. We're not even just ranking game quality. We're just ranking story, character, all this stuff, and
Because there's more to
we
it, I think, than just the gameplay.
that's because that's the thing. Like you look compared to like Mario. Like the reason why I felt more deeper. I have so much connected with Sonic because there's something to care about. There's characters, stories, and stuff. Mario just the games are great. The Mario games can have great are great games, but like I'm not emotionally invested to them where I can discuss hours
Mario
on.
games to me are party games, and that's just because even in like the mainline games, there's not that much story to go off of, because Miyamoto's whole like they're actors on a stage and it's fine, but it doesn't give me like emotional depth because there's no continuing narratives or arcs in a lot of them. So it's like I don't have a reason to play every Mario game or even every Zelda game because of all the timeline things, but I will play almost any Sonic game because Sonic. There's something about it.
There's like again, like even the games in D, there's something to take from
Except Sonic
all of
4.
them.
Screw Sonic 4.
I can find before. Sonic 4 is like because at least with Rise of Lyric, as much as I hate the game, there's something to take out of it from at least what could have been, and then so you look into the behind the scenes of Rise of Lyric. But so yeah, I guess I love this franchise since I was little, and I'm so passionate now. And I mean, the box office of Sonic 2 I think shows
Sonic's
that like
future might be in the movies, to be honest.
well, because that's the thing with Sonic. He's not just a game character; he's a multimedia character.
And that's because
ever
Sega
since
has
the
let
beginning.
him be that. Nintendo has been so cagey about Mario since the Mario movie that I don't think they've had that extra media development they really could use.
Yeah, Sonic's a game. Was game franchise first, but like Sega since the beginning made Sonic into a multimedia character. So that's why we have comics, movies, cartoons, and such. Because we can't because they want this character and brand to just be out there. Like that's why you see there's a reason why we throughout the 2000s there's always been a Sonic toy line. There was never any like big holes.
Yeah.
Because there was Resource, and after Resource there was Toy Island, and after Toy Island was Jazzwares, and after Jazzwares was Tomy, and now one Jax. There was never any break when it occurred to Mario where like Mario had the Mario 64 toys in 1999, and wait until like 2007 they get those Popco figures, and then to Jax.
Yeah.
Like there was gaps and such, and like even with Sonic, because like once we got comics, from 1992 to I think what's 2016, Archie had that big run. But then once Archie lost lives, and right away was IDW, so wasn't even a big gap between comics and stuff like that. And yeah, there's always been a Sonic cartoon for most of the decades. You got your 90s cartoons with Tiny M and Adventure and Underground, and then you got and OVA. And then 2000 was X, and then 2010s was Boom. And now we get the movie 2020s. Now we have the movies, the movieverse, and Prime.
Yeah, definitely.
So Sonic, there's a reason why so many people cared, and why we care about Sonic, because he's always there. Like no matter, as I said in an upcoming video, no matter how many missteps this franchise will make, we still hold this franchise dear to our hearts because we love it that much. And not much people complain about the fandom a lot of times. The fandom,
they're just
the
passionate.
fandom passionate, and again, they made many great stuff from fan animations, fan games, and such like that.
And the fact that Sega acknowledges it and gets those people working on stuff as opposed to just trying to shut them down and shut them up is something that a lot of other franchises should take notes on.
Yeah, and that's why that's why we're still here. That's why we're still here, and
but
if there's
we do need to start wrapping up because I need to go watch Star Trek Picard. So let's read some last comments from the chat before we kind of close out here.
All right, so we got Will. Lost World felt all over the place to me. We're trying too many things. Yeah, it just got completely rewritten months before it released too. The comic is good. The TV show is good, but the game is so bad. I think. Oh, Boom. Okay. Have you ever read the Boom comics? The Sonic Boom comics?
I haven't touched them.
Oh, they're great. They're great. They're funny. So from what I know, there's a lot who say There needs to be another Sega racer with Rise Star, Vector Man, and Temjin. I mean, the Sega just need to revive this franchise eventually. It doesn't matter if Sega makes the most impressive Sonic game in the world. Critics will always say Sonic was never good. Yeah, no matter what, like Sonic has a stigma with the critics. Just they're just blinded by the culture of Sonic was never good. And Sega does. Sega does when Nintendo don't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Sega does a Nintendo called "Lets Other People Work with Their Stuff."
Yeah, let's let people love this franchise and show and appreciate it. But yeah, I think that's all we have to say. So. Thanks for having me on the stream. I'm always happy to discuss Sonic with anything with anybody because this franchise means a lot to me and I'm happy to discuss it. And again, like I think with this shown I didn't really have much negative or cynical things about to say for this franchise. I
not
I
really.
love this franchise.
I mean, you didn't get me started talking about Sonic Underground though, so that's.
I know. If I'm talking about Sonic Underground, I'm going to joke on it. Pretty much. But still, again.
But yeah, I think we both love Sonic. We've both been talking about it for
2 hours now.
Yeah, we've been talking about it long enough to think. I think everybody knows we are definitely talking Sonic.
And our patch of Sonic will be shown in our future video, hopefully coming next week.
Hopefully, yeah. We'll see how things go.
That's the plan. So yeah, thanks for everyone for joining the stream.
Yeah, this was fun to do. We will have an archive for anyone that missed anything that will go up right away once YouTube lets it free from YouTube jail. And yeah, so if you enjoy things, be sure to hit the like button if you've been watching because it always helps the video. And if you've been in the chat and you've been commenting, you already subscribed. But if you aren't, subscribe. There's plenty more on the channel. Go check some stuff out. If you didn't catch my Thundercats video from Monday, I really loved how it turned out. And tomorrow there'll be a new review, and I'll tease that it is Ultraman related. So stay tuned.
A 15-minute Ultraman
52
video.
minutes of Ultraman. But anyways, so thank you everyone for joining, and we're gonna take our leave. So. Goodbye.
You want to follow me?
Follow him on Twitter at Darkclaw643.
At Darkclaw643. Yeah. I do you want graphics like the ones you see right now on stream?
He does. I'm pointing in the wrong direction. He does graphics. He's good at it.
Yeah. So you want any that's what you want anything you see on screen? Plus, I also made all the pictures on the tier list also. Mm-hmm. You want any of this? Just DM me on Twitter and we can get discussing about it.
That does it for our list and our stream. I'll see you all next time.